Today's coverage of the IHSA AA Softball Championships is proudly presented by Country Companies Insurance. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And by Pepsi. Nothing else is a Pepsi. Welcome everyone to Mineral Springs Park in Pekin, Illinois for the best in high school softball. It's the 1997 Illinois High School Association Girls Class AA State Championship game. Hello everyone, I'm Ann Penson, and I'm proud to be working with gold medalist from Olympic softball, Danny Tyler. And Danny, two great teams tonight, Lockport and Morton. Both teams have finished second, yet to win the prize. How about the visitors, Lockport, in tonight's game?
In Lockport, we see a lot of senior leadership, and they pride themselves in their defense. They're going to have to play well tonight to win this game.
You can see how they got here. They have the best record in their history. And Danny talked earlier to Coach Barb Burke, a 25-year veteran of coaching this sport at Lockport.
Well, I would say the biggest key is defense, and that's been our strength all year. We've played great defense, and the kids' defensive stats have been awesome, and we've had so many all-area, all-state, female athlete of the year, all these different things that the kids have done. So they're going to have to step up and play that role today.
With those veterans, let's take a look at the senior sensations. There are many of them, only two non-seniors in the starting lineup, but here are three keys. And Morton High School, Morton the Potters, Coach Gigi McIntosh has brought this team 4 straight times. What are they going to have to do to finally win the gold?
On paper, they look very young, but they work hard in the off-season. They'll pull it around. They'll play like a veteran team tonight. Watch them to win it.
Here's their record. Of course, they play year-round, and so those games are simply part of what they do. They are ready tonight. And earlier, Danny talked to Gigi McIntosh about the keys to winning a championship game.
Well, I don't think really we're any different. Each of our teams have had great senior leadership, and that's no exception this year with Angie Waykazer. They've had good defense, strong pitching, and timely hitting. So we've put all those things together again this year.
And senior leader Angie Waykazer, the third baseman, started out the season with a broken ankle, has recouped to bring the leadership back to her team in this game, which is their goal. Danny, what about the game as we get ready?
Well, they both came in second place once before. Who's going to make it over the hump and bring home a state championship?
Stay with us. We'll be right back with the lineups. Here we are at beautiful Mineral Springs Park. We're about to get underway in the Class AA State Softball Championship game. And tonight's officials who have earned their way to the tournament, behind the plate, Chris Long. At first base will be Sally Walker. And at third base, Ted Knapp. That's your trio of umpires for tonight's game. And now for tonight's lineup, let's go to PA announcer Bob Neal.
And now let's meet the participant in the 1997 Class AA State Championship game. First, for the visiting team, the Porters of Lockport, who enter the game with a record of 37 wins and 3 losses. Please meet Coach Barbara Burke, who has a career record of 540 wins and 148 losses. And for the home team, the Potters of Morton, who enter the game with a record of 33 wins and 6 losses. Please meet Coach Gigi McIntosh, who has a career record of 307 wins and 126 losses. For Lockport, assistant coach Marissa Franzen. For Morton, assistant coach Monica Rogers. For Lockport, assistant coach Amber Podlesny. For Morton, athletic trainer Michelle DeBoer. And for Lockport, assistant coaches Paul Lovell, Angie Parrish, and Sonia Jackson. And now for the players. For Lockport, number 1, Jenny Lindemann. For Morton, number 1, Megan Crawford. For Lockport, number 2, Kristen Perry. For Morton, number 2, Delissa Nestrud. For Lockport, number 3, Katie Blackmore. For Morton, number 4, Tammy Spezio. For Lockport, number 5, Gina Calderon. For Morton, number 5, Brooke Monroe. For Lockport, number 6, Shannon Lindgren. For Morton, number 7, Michelle Cars. For Lockport, number 7, Vicky Renando. For Morton, number 8, Angie Waykazer. For Lockport, number 8, Tracy Beneventi. For Morton, number 9, Jenny Neely. For Lockport, number 9, Jenny Stringham. For Morton, number 10, Amber Strukhura. For Lockport, number 10, Amy Somerville. For Morton, number 11, Amy Schlappy. For Lockport, number 11, Don Glasscock. For Morton, number 12, Amanda Schmidtgall. For Lockport, number 13, Jenny Georgiantis. For Morton, number 13, Joy Ganaway. For Lockport, number 14, Candace Polino. For Morton, number 17, Kristen Smith. For Lockport, number 15, Peggy Casey. For Morton, number 22, Angela Simmons. And for Lockport, number 16, Rachel Bambrick. Number 17, Lisa Renando. Number 19, Megan Fisher. And number 20, Renee Wilkinson. The umpires for tonight's game behind the plate will be Chris Long. At first base will be Sally Walker. And at third base, Ted Knapp. And we're ready to play ball.
And the balloons of the Morton Potters go high to the sky as their hopes for the championship rise with the balloons. And we're just about ready to get underway. As you see, a beautiful night. The temperature is perfect, 78. Humidity's a little higher. There's been some rain yesterday, but so far today it's been beautiful. The wind is not a factor. Should be a fine night for softball. The lights are on and we're ready to go. And let's see the defense lineup for the Morton. Here you'd have it for the Potters. Around the infield, Waykazer, Simmons, Spezio, and Schmidgall. Behind the plate is Monroe with Smith, the other half of the battery, and left to right, Schlappy, Neely, and Stahura. Stahura has had an outstanding tournament so far. Her stock has gone way up. And now the batting lineup for Lockport. As we wait for the pitcher, we'll be giving the lineup here in just a second. The hitters for Lockport, and as they break the huddle, out they go. There go the Potters of Morton. The 4th time in a row they've been to this championship game. Kristen Smith, the pitcher, you look at that ERA. What a performance she has had in 25 games. The lefty pitched last year, and she's ready to go. You saw the smile on her face. And now the batting lineup for the Lockport Porters. Blackmore, Calderon, Lindemann, Jorganis is a huge hitter, the first baseman. Casey, Somerville, Renando, who had the game-winning hit in the semifinal. Bambrick will DH for Glasscock, and Beneventi, who was like a second leadoff down in that 9th position.
Yeah, they're coming out of the visitors here, and some people may think, you know, you want to be the home team, but looking at the faces of these Lockport Porters, I think they want to come out and score first.
And Danny, when you played in the Olympics, was it a big issue whether you batted first or not?
You know, sometimes people have that in their head, but to be honest with you, if you're a good ball club, you think you can win either way, and I think that's how Lockport is.
I think most coaches come in and say, hey, we get the first chance at scoring, so let's go to it.
Why not?
You've got to put the mental aspect on, because at this point, the physical practice is done. There is nothing left to do, and it's all how you feel about the game. Both these teams have played 3 games, and both pitchers will have pitched 3 games in less than 24 hours. And we are ready to play, and here's your first batter, and that will lead off sophomore Katie Blackmore, the right fielder, averaging 384, and her job is to get on. Wearing number 3, hoping that number will be the charm for the Porters as they are in their 3rd championship game for Coach Barb Burke. We have Friday the 13th, and it's good luck for everyone that's here, because to have reached this title game means so much. There are 600-some teams that would give their eye teeth to be here, and we're just about ready for it to get underway, and there we go. Outside goes the pitch to Monroe. Ball 1.
The one thing I've really been impressed with Kristen Smith is how well she paints the corners.
That ball A little bit high. She's painting him, but she's not getting Katie Blackmore to fish.
Yeah, another great pitch that Kristen Smith has is her off-speed pitch, and that's a tough pitch in this game. It really keeps the batters off balance.
What about facing a lefty? They don't see too many left-handed pitchers during the season.
Not too many, but you know, if you can just spot that right by her hip, you should be in good shape.
Foul ball. 2-1's the count. So after getting behind, Smith comes back and gets the strike on Blackmore.
Yeah, she's a tough pitcher. She is a junior, but she is tough, and she's been going at these batters all tournament.
That's our leadoff batter. This is a Class AA championship game here in Pekin, Illinois. Outside and low, 3-1. So behind goes Kristen Smith. And of course, the job for Lockport is to get a runner on and then angle your way down to second and get in scoring position. However you do that. And this will be a chess match. There are two great coaches who are strategists and love to be aggressive on the bases. And we're going to have our first base runner right now.
Yeah, you might think that it might be a little bit of tiredness coming out of Kristen Smith. This is her second game, but you're going to know that it's your state championship. That extra adrenaline is going to come through. It just takes a little bit to get the nerves out. This is a state championship game. You got to be a little nervous, got a little butterflies.
And now we've got some strategy issues. Well, we have bunt, usually the second hitter is that, and it looks like she's going to place it or fake it. Nothing doing so far. Blackmore on first. Calderon is the batter. Do you expect them to try Brooke Monroe and try for the steal, or do you expect a bunt?
I'd expect a bunt. It's not really a baseball move, but in softball you see it a lot, and it's a smart move. You can get a runner over in scoring position.
Most pitchers, of course, try to throw the rise and get that ball up, which is harder to bunt. But so far, she's staying low.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the kind of control that she has right now. It looks a little bit wild, but it is early in the game. She's kind of trying to see how this batter's going to take her.
Well, she is behind 3-0. So I'm sure Calderon's going to take this one all the way. And ball's a strike, so Smith comes down tough when she had to. 3-1, nobody out. Blackmore on first, Calderon at bat. Squares around. Great, there's painting the corners right there, Danny.
That's what she's been doing all tournament, and she's doing a great job at it.
You can warm up all you want, but you need that game feel to come out here, and she's finding it. Full count, runners going, foul tip, hanging tough. So we got the runner on first who wants to make sure she doesn't get doubled off on a liner. Infield is in for Morton. There's Blackmore at first. Nobody out, full count on Calderon. Fouled again, staying lively, one back, one to the right. She's protecting the plate like all good batters have to do.
Official or to the third base line steps. We appreciate your cooperation.
It's a good shot from our center field camera, down the pipe, and that ball is up, out to center field, and Jenny Neely squeezes it for the out. So one away on the fly out. Out number one, and that will bring up a devastating hitter, Jenny Lindemann, who is an awesome third baseman and has a way with the bat as well.
They have a very strong lineup, Lockport. Right after is Ginny Georgianis, who's the leading hitter. So what do you want to do now? It's a tough situation. Do you bunt over that runner to second and try to let Ginny come in and get a ribby? Or do you hit away?
She squares as if to bunt. That ball is outside, 1-0. So Smith has been behind all the batters so far, but she's tantalizing them with some close pitches.
Yeah, and it's early in the game. She still might have a few butterflies.
Whoa, right down the pipe, blows it by her. Evens the count at 1-1. There's one out. Runner still on first is Blackmore. Lindemann has a cannon arm besides being able to swing the bat. Tries the change, goes high. 2-1.
The changeup really seems to be Kristen Smith's pitch. She's thrown it often, and it's been very effective in the tournament.
You're going to say good changeups by both pitchers. Lockport's pitcher has a very deceptive changeup as well, and throws a 3/4 speed that's been effective as well. And the count evens at 2-2 as you look at Kristen Smith, the junior, 19-3 coming into this ballgame.
And she has to have a lot of confidence because she's got a great defense behind her. One senior in the third baseman, but everyone else is very aggressive, very fundamentally sound. Great coaching by Gigi McIntosh.
Runner going, foul back, and stays at 2-2. So they're making Kristen work a lot of pitches early after throwing 2 ball games already.
She's a tough kid, you can tell. The last 2 games she's been tough, and you can see in her face right now she's pretty relaxed. She's comfortable. Barb Burke talking to her. One of the porters giving him a little advice, saying, hey, put it in play for us. We're going to score some runs. Let's relax.
Make them do something with the ball.
Exactly.
Down and dirty, on the ground, make them move it. Here we go. Fouled again, so Lindemann hanging tough and Smith battling her pitch for bat.
That's really what you got to do with 2 strikes. Your strike zone has got to open up a little bit as a batter, and you've got to get anything close because you never know what that umpire is going to call behind home plate.
Blackmore ready to go, tries to change. Oh, great pitch. There's that pitch you talked about, Danny, and it fooled Lindemann for out number 2.
Here comes that changeup again. As you can see, Lindemann way out in front, just trying to hold on and couldn't get it. Great pitch by Kristen Smith.
And that brings up cleanup hitter Ginny Jordanis. She can give a, there you go, you look at her bat as that ball falls right in front of left field. Amy Schlappy is going to the fence, and here comes Blackmore around to score. Jordanis going for third, throw comes into Waycaser, and she is out of there on a great throw to end the inning, but not before the Porters get on the board and lead 1-0.
Ginny Jordanis has been tough all year, and there she goes again, coming with a key RBI, being aggressive and going for third base. Just got her, but you got to be happy with that hit.
There you have it. We're underway, and the Porters lead. We'll be back right after this. Well, there's a look at the defense of the Lockport Porters as they hold the lead right now, so they did exactly what a team wants to do when they start off, and here is their defense around the horn. Lindemann, Casey, Calderon, and Jordanis. The battery, Glasscock and Renando. And the outfield, Benevente, Somerville, and Blackmore left to right. An outstanding defense. The infield may be the best in Illinois.
Most definitely, led by Ginny Jordanis. But then you look at the pitcher, Dawn Glasscock, who has came to be a hero for this Lockport team. She came out there, freshman ace sensation, got hurt, tore a muscle in her bicep, and she all of a sudden had to be a surprise and come through and pitch some big games. She's done a great job.
Well, she started off with a no-hitter in the sectionals, and then she just continued from there. As you look at the Morton lineup, loaded with a lot of hitters with experience. And we're underway. That ball right off to Brooke Monroe, the catcher, and she fouls it away. So no time wasted. Both these pitchers work pretty fast.
They sure do. Dawn Glasscock doesn't really have a predominant pitch. She's not a rise ball pitcher or a drop ball pitcher, but she throws a lot of junk. You never know what's going to come.
Brooke Monroe is a junior. She caught last year's championship game, and the count is even, 1-1. She's a contact hitter. It's unusual to see a catcher lead off, but I assure you, she's got speed. Oh, inside, brushes her back.
Both pitchers have started off a little shaky, but you got to understand, this is the state championship game. This could be the biggest game of their life.
Dawn Glasscock never pitched a starting game until these state championships started in sectionals, and what a job she has done as that ball goes foul in front of Katie Blackmore and Ginny Jordanis. And second baseman Gina Calderon unable to get it as it fell right behind Sally Walker, the umpire. So the count is 2-2. There's a bottom half of the first Class AA state championship game, and that is Brooke Monroe. That ball hit down to short. Casey gobbles it up and guns it over and out at first on the great throw on the hard-charging Casey.
Peggy Casey, she's going to end up at Loyola next year, so she'll be staying in the area. We can all watch her back home. Here it is again. It's a hard shot to the shortstop, and Peggy Casey stays down on this ball and makes a great throw to first. That shows why she's going to get a scholarship to Loyola.
Good to see these players use two hands, look the ball in the glove as fundamentals for younger players who might be watching this game.
And that's what the game's all about. It's about fundamentals. A lot of people can make the hot shot plays, but not many like this to third base. Great shot.
Now you got to look at Lindemann's arm we talked about. She has a cannon over there. Gobble it up, and the vacuum cleaner sends it over to Jordanis at first for 2 outs.
Here's a play again. It's a hot shot to third base. Jenny Lindemann again, like we were talking, fundamentally sound, and makes a strong throw to first.
You notice the runner wasn't even in the picture at that point. It got there so quickly.
She's got an arm.
Strike one, Amber Stahura. Stahura has been phenomenal in the outfield, gunning down runners at first base from ground balls to her position in right field. Just a junior. I'm sure there's a lot of college coaches taking a good look at her, and she's a heck of a hitter as well, batting number 3.
One of the great things to see out here is the great attitude that you watch on both these teams. And coaches come out and try to see the players and see the skills that they have, but they're also looking for attitude. You need someone who's going to work hard and have that sportsmanship.
That ball strike, you're exactly right, Danny. If you're going to be working with someone year-round for 4 years, you sure want someone who's enjoyable to work with, and vice versa. Kids are looking for the same thing when they go to work.
Sure, it's for 4 years of your life. You might as well have a blast.
Oh, there goes that off-speed pitch, and it is for a strikeout. So the Morton Potters go down 1, 2, 3, and after one complete inning of play, it is Lockport 1, Morton 0. Let's look at that changeup thrown by Glasscock to Stahura. Oh, a backbreaker.
And that's a tough pitch. She did a great job keeping it low. Sometimes if you hang it too high, the girls can get around on it, but she kept it low. It was a great pitch.
She knew it when it went by. Whoops, tried to hesitate. You see the clappers that are over there on the Morton side, the Lockport side. It's a riot. They use those to make noise. It's a lot of fun. And they've been giving a few of them out for fans to garner some interest in their team. Top half of the second, Lockport got off well with getting a run, doing just what you want when you're visitors, and our batter is up, and it is Peggy Casey. Casey goes out to center, in between center and right. Stahura challenges for it, says, I've got it for the out. So a fly ball by Casey to the outfield for out number 1.
And that's the confidence Kristen Smith has got to have. She's got a great outfield, some great arms, and a very tough defense in the infield. She's got to have a lot of confidence.
Well, it also helps that even though these kids may be younger, they have been here before, whether they played on the starting lineup or whether they were here watching. That experience, you can't beat it.
And something that Gigi McIntosh has said about her team is that they play in the off-season together. They feel very comfortable together. They may be young, but they feel that you have a certain kind of group with each other. You feel a smoothness. You can communicate without talking.
And the batter right now is Amy Somerville, another senior, the center fielder. Batting for the Porters. Attempts the bag bunt and strike call. So with one out, the fly ball to right, Kristen Smith has settled down, has been getting ahead of batters in this inning. Down to second, Spezio over to Smidgall for the out.
Swinging the first for out number 2. That'll bring up catcher number 7.
And that will bring up the catcher, Vicky Renando, who had a fabulous hit, the game-winning RBI in the semifinal game this afternoon.
It was a great hit. She's a catcher for this team, and she seems to be their backbone. She keeps the pitchers together, and she also had to come through with that big hit, and she did. That's why they're here. You need that leadership.
Behind the plate, she is a very flexible, agile young lady. She's got a great reach. Very little gets by her, and that gives a younger pitcher, one with little experience on the mound, and Glasscock, a lot of confidence behind the plate. And both these catchers work really hard at analyzing their batters. They stayed and watched the other games and watched for themselves, even though someone else could have done the scouting, because they feel more comfortable if they've seen it.
Oh, sure. They're the ones that are back there. They have to take those pitches from the pitcher. So you better believe they're going to be the ones there and wants to know what's going on. And both of these guys are true competitors. You see them back there. They're calling a great game. They've been doing it all tournament.
There's that ball is hit down to second. Spezio grabs it and underhands it to Smidgall. So down go the Porters, 1, 2, 3 in the top half of the second. So they still lead 1-0. We'll be back with the bottom half of 2 right after this. As we look at some of the fans that are out here in the outfield, that fence is 200 yards away. Or 200 feet away. Let's remind you that the broadcast rights for this event have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of this event without the express written consent of Sports Channel and the IHSA is prohibited. A great crowd. It sure helps to have wonderful fans in Lockport, not too far away, and Morton, of course, is very close. And they've begun to think this is their annual trip.
Oh, yeah. They've been here for the past 4 years, and they're back again. They brought the balloons. They're loud, and it's got to be a little boost to Morton to have that kind of home court advantage.
Well, the only senior in the lineup, Angie Waycaser, who we featured in the Open, is up to bat. Her first one up here. Angie had a tough start of the year. In the first game of the season, she broke her ankle. You'll see a air cast on it. She said it is sore tonight, but she's a gamer. She's out there playing because there's no time to wait.
Oh, gosh, this could be the game of your life. You know they got to be excited. You know they got to be pumped.
And she hits a long, high fly ball out to Benevetti in left, who squeezes it for the out. Got under it a little bit, and Angie trots back for after out number 1.
We were talking about the summer program of Morton. Lockport also has some summer programs. You see it so much now in softball. Most of the kids play in the summer. And it's great because you can hang out with your friends. It's summertime. You don't have the worries of school. You just sit back, get a tan, and have fun in the sun. And all these teams that they play on are very competitive. There's the Sharks, the Sparks, a whole bunch of teams out of the Chicagoland area.
And of course, Morton will be playing tomorrow in a tournament down in a little further south here. So everybody's playing. They play approximately 100 games a year with their high school and their summer season. So no matter how young you are in chronological years, not in experience. As we say, Schmidgall dodge out of the way of Glasscock's pitch. It's 2-0 on Schmidgall. Her first attempt, the first baseman for the Potters.
You know what it tells me when they play in these Summers games is that they love to play. And that's what this is all about. You got to have fun. You got to love it. And it's great to see these fans here. They're all supporting them.
They are committed athletes. Oh, big swing. Glasscock now got a strike on Schmidgall. Got her to look at that one. There's a smile. What a scenario. Last year, she tears up her knee skiing, had been a relief pitcher, comes in, their freshman pitcher gets hurt. She comes in, starts pitching. Her only stint as a starter. What a performance for a young lady.
She is a tough kid. She's a competitor. And that's what this whole Lockport team is, as well as Morton. And you got to be that way to come here and be in the championship game.
Absolutely. Every team, both these teams have been touted by the media all year long as teams to beat. That ball fouled off. And I think that puts an X on your back. You're a target. Everybody wants you. Everybody rises to the occasion when they get to play you. So they've had all kinds of adversity all year long.
Oh, sure. And you have to have a lot of confidence, too, to know that you're at that program that everyone wants to beat. You got to be knowing that people want to get you because you're tough and because you're good. And that should put some confidence in you.
Full count to Schmidgall. Oh, there's a change, but she was ready for it. Unable to get anything with the end of the bat, and an easy one for Peggy Casey. Out number 2. You know, this Morton team, when they were 8th graders, they had won every game in the year, played the IHSA championship game, lost to Casey, a perennial A championship team. Their only loss that season. They became known because of getting behind all the time as the Cardiac Kids. And I'm not sure they've changed a whole lot in 4 years.
They sure did. In the semifinal, they were down 2 runs, and they came back to win it. So I guess that name's sticking with them for a while.
So it's no problem if they've been behind. I think they almost play better.
It could be a little mental block for them. Maybe they like to do that and then just come back tough.
Well, Tammy Spezio is the batter. Tammy looks at a ball 1, so the count is even. 1-1, there are 2 outs. This is the bottom half of the second. There is Mary Struckoff. Mary and Bobby Mattingly. Mattingly on the left, Struckoff on the right. Mattingly is the head of officials here at the tournament, and Mary Struckoff is the IHSA executive director of this event. And we appreciate all the efforts that they have made toward the continuance of excellence in this tournament. They're 2 of the women who have made sports so outstanding here in Illinois and continue to help out, along with Barb Waddell from Pekin High School, who is the tournament manager. Oh, that ball ripped. Ooh, it hit Gigi McIntosh, and she is down. We've got the trainer from Morton is over helping Gigi. This is sure something that we do not want to see. We sure hope she's okay. Here's the ball to Spezio, ripped. We won't want to speculate where she got hit, but we know she's down and being attended to by the fine trainers here on duty here at the state tournament.
That's one of the toughest places to be, is that coaching position. You have no glove to protect yourself, and you're one of the closest people to the batter. That's a dangerous place to be.
And Gigi is a very fine player in her own right.
Yeah, I played with her for a few years, and I've seen she was a very, very intense player. You can tell in her kids that she kind of pushes that onto them to be intense. She's tough. She wouldn't be down there unless she was really hurt.
Here's Tammy Spezio, who's probably thinking, oh boy, what'd I do now? Certainly, I tell you, any coach would be thrilled to have that kind of contact. Just wish it had been between the white lines.
Oh, sure.
And I'm sure there's concern on her part right now, and you see the fans looking around going, oh, hope, you have, when you've worked with someone that intensely over, Gigi works in the summer with these kids, and you have such an attachment that there's just so much caring. And I know she's trying to say, hey, I'm okay, way to go, but of course we want to make sure that her health is uppermost in everybody's mind, that she's okay.
The great thing about these coaches is that they are role models for these kids, just like you were saying. And Gigi would be a great role model. She's played, she knows the game, a very classy person. And I think it's great for these kids to have a leader like that, as well as Barb Burke we see up there. 2 great women.
I'll tell you something, that is so right. Barb Burke, who is the opposing coach, is right now over there way more concerned. She's standing out there and she's talking. She wanted to go over there. There's a respect, a mutual respect and admiration by these 2. It appears that it hit her in the hand, and that had to sting her. I'm glad to see her laughing. And that's going to make Spezio be a little bit calmer as well. Oh, there's a smile. There you go. I'm not in the doghouse now. What'd you do in the championship game? Tammy, I hit my coach and broke her arm.
And McIntosh can't be mad because Spezio had a great shot. That's the kind of contact you want. Let's just put it between the white lines next time.
All right, let's see what she can do with it now that she's relaxed. She knows Gigi's okay. That's going to sting for a while, but like my coach used to say, it's a long way from your heart. You'll be fine. And the count is even, 2-2. There are 2 outs, as you see the smile from Don Glasscock. Tell you, this field is gorgeous. You saw some of the fine trainers. I want to mention many of the people that work here. We mentioned Mary and Bobby and Barb Waddell, but also Ken Ayers, who has been working this tournament for the length that's been here in Pekin. He does an awesome job. He's a financial manager and works for Pekin. That ball hit on to Peggy Casey for the out. So after a delay for the injury of the coach, we're okay, and we will be back for the bottom half 2 right after this. Well, you see the score. It's the Lockport Porters leading 1-0 as you look at senior Angie Waycase there on the hot corner in third base, and it certainly was a hot corner for Coach Gigi McIntosh here as we get ready for the first hitter for Lockport in the top half of the 3rd inning. It will be Rachel Bambrick, the DH. She's hitting for the pitcher, and Bambrick has been alternating and has been the hitter. I tell you what, in the semifinal, she ripped 2 or 3 shots way long but foul. If she ever gets hold of one, I guarantee it's going over the fence.
I'm sure she's praying for those to come fair right about now. This is the game to do it.
Sure, I was just practicing before. She does like a pullet, so I'm sure Barb Burke's thinking, I better be alive over here. There it is. It's a long ball in the gap in right center. Going forward is Tahura, who has been nothing but a vacuum cleaner. You get an idea of how well she broke on that pitch.
She sure did. She got a great jump on that ball. Had to reach a little bit, but she got there. Let's see that again. It's a good hit to right field. Bambrick went well with it, took it to right, and there's the stretch there. She's getting everything. Tahura is a great right fielder.
Toughest position, perhaps, to play in the outfield in softball. Everything that's hit is tailing away most often. That one wasn't, but a tough job. As it brings up Tracy Beneventi.
Tahura has proved that she's one of the best in the state.
Down to Simmons. And over to Schmidgall at first for the out. The routine grounder scooped up by the shortstop. So we've been through the lineup, and we're back to the top of the order for Lockport in Katie Blackmore. Katie walked her first time out. Cleans off the glasses and is ready to play. As to her, you were talking about, she has had a dynamite outfit. She breaks so quickly and correctly. I don't see a misstep one way and then going another way. And of course, her arm throwing runners out at first has been key in 2 of their wins.
And that's really a tribute to Gigi McIntosh. She works so hard with these kids. She also has a very nice feeder program that feeds into the high school, and she contributes to that as well.
Hit down to Waycaser, looks it in and throws to first. So down go the Porters, 1, 2, and 3 in the top half of the 3rd. We'll be back with Morton right after this. It's fun at the old ballpark for everybody, and out behind the fence enjoying the game in between innings, we've got some picnickers. Don't know who they're cheering for, but I know they're having a great time here at Pekin. This is such a gorgeous field. Oh, thanks for that little note to us, Lockport. And there are the clappers of the Porters. Tell you, this field is gorgeous, and Tom Elliott and his Pekin Park District staff and all of our support staff do an awesome job. As that ball is flying out, it's down to left fielder Tracy Beneventi, and she squeezes it for the out. So Simmons goes down on a fly ball to left, and that will bring up Joy Ganaway.
We talk about how well Dawn Glasscott is doing pitching, but we really should mention the incredible freshman in Shannon Lindgren, who is injured. We talked about it earlier, has a torn muscle in her bicep. She really played a big role in getting these guys here.
And that's what we talk about teams. Someone has to step up, and these kids have obviously done that. A freshman was leading them, and a senior is finishing it out.
And that's how it should be. That's what you need, that senior leadership, something that Lockport does have.
Just high. You can see Glasscock, she's just practicing. Okay, I got to do this. Really concentrates. She seems much more relaxed in the earlier games, and I'm sure just the more she's pitched, the easier it's gotten. Well, I don't know if being in a championship game is easy, but I think she's got a feel for this park anyway. 2-1 the count, 1 out. Designated hitter Joy Ganaway at the plate as you look at the concentration by Glasscock. Inside on the corner. Strike 2. Evens it 2-2.
If we talk about Barb Burke, she's been coaching for 25 years, but she's got an outstanding record. 540 wins, 148 losses.
That ball hit on the off the end of the bat to Gina Calderon for the out. You know, and Danny, Barb Burke may have been coaching longer in softball than anyone else in the state on a high school level at a high school, certainly at the same place. She coached 2 years before there was a state tournament, and their first record was 4-1. They played 5 games.
So she's always been a winner.
Absolutely, and more importantly, she's always been a winner as a person. She's an outstanding role model and woman that has been leading this for so long, and she's so positive. There goes the bunt down by Neely. Oh, but not in time, and it's picked up. So the Morton Potters go down 1-2-3. So after 3 complete innings, it's still Lockport 1. Morton yet to score. Want to remind you to check out Sports Channel every night at 10 or after the game for the Sports Channel Report. Every night the report has the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes features on your favorite Chicago athletes from all levels. Check it out every night, the Sports Channel Report. And there's one of our fans now. A youngster that's here at the ballpark getting their first taste of championship softball. And there's some of the, see, we've got them in graduated sizes. And I tell you what, the ice cream here is some of the best in the world. And it looks like he had strawberry. Gina Calderon at bat goes down with a bunt. Waycaser over, hustles down, and out, says Sally Walker on a close play at first. Calderon put down the nice bunt.
It was a great bunt. She thought she could catch him sleeping. Here she goes. She lays it down. It was a great, great try. But look at that arm. You can't do anything with that arm. She came up firing and got her. It was a great try, though.
And that will bring up Jenny Lindemann, the third baseman. Struck out in the first. She looked at that change ball. Not this time. That ball is well hit. Out to Schlappe. Oh, over the shoulder, makes the grab, and there's that defense.
Incredible. Gigi McIntosh must do this over and over in practice. How many times does it happen in a game? And finally it happens now. Let's see it again. It's a great hit. And Amy Schlappe just keeps running, running, running. And all she could do is do that extension and makes the play. That's one she'll remember forever.
It looked just like you want to coach it. Turn, look over your shoulder, and make the grab. Extension at the last moment. Beautiful. 2 down. And at bat, Ginny Georgianis, the hard-hitting first baseman.
You know, when we talk about Lockport, a lot of people think of the Podlesny sisters who have brought them to the state tournament before. It's funny, they were both number 13, Amber and Lee. Now, Ginny Georgianis, number 13, is their sister-in-law, so it's kind of running in the family here.
And it is Friday the 13th, so for someone, there will be a lot of luck tonight. That ball hit out to shortstop, Angela Simmons, but off the end of the bat on the changeup, and down goes Georgianis. 1-2-3 in this wonderfully defensive, skilled game as you look at the crowd. So after 3.5, it's still Lockport by 1. There's the fine Morton fans, and we're going to start it all over. It's the top of the order in Brooke Monroe, the catcher from our center field camera spot. Great shots that everyone's getting us here at Sports Channel, and we appreciate it. Great job by everybody. And there was a sign out there that said, "Say you will," and they were pointing it right at Monroe as she looks at the ball. And I'm sure that's exactly what she'd like to do right now. They've been behind this fine Morton team. She grounded out in the first. And she's a leadoff hitter. She wants to get on and cause some havoc out on the base pass.
You can tell she's very confident. And "say you will" is something you should be saying in your head. You got to be thinking all the time you're going to be the one to get that hit.
They were down in other games. It's no problem. There we go. A shot to center. That ball dropping and grabbed out there by Amy Somerville. Running catch was nice. The backhanded grab, and on the well-hit ball by Monroe, a long liner out.
It's nice to see this great defense. There she goes. Very powerful swing. She caught the ball, turned with her hips, and that's what you got to do in this game. Men, they have the upper body. Women, we need to use the hips and a big pivot.
And there's Kristen Smith on the pivot down to second base, Calderon, and over to Janice for the out. So on the grounder, they're quickly down 1-2. And you get a look at the solid defense that we talked about in the open of Lockport.
And I tell you, defense wins ball games. If you play tough defense, no one's going to score on you.
What's Gigi say? Offense wins games and defense wins championships. Well, this is a championship ball game. Who will win it? Who will finally break the jinx and have the third time be the charm? Strike called on Stahura, the right fielder who we saw make a good catch earlier in this game. Smile by Glasscock. Struck out first time up.
You know what's fun to see for me is to look out here and think, we got a future Olympian, which could come from the shortstop who's had a great game.
That was Casey as quickly she goes over to Jordanis at first, and they are 1, 2, 3 down in the bottom of the fourth. We'll be back with top half of the fifth right after this. As we get ready for the top half of the fifth, we want to remind you that the Chicago Tribune is the official newspaper of the IHSA State Championship. So pick up the Chicago Tribune for complete coverage of IHSA sports. Hard hit by Casey down to shortstop Simmons for the out. And boy, I tell you, nobody's waiting around for first pitches.
Oh no, they're being very aggressive. And that's what a coach wants. You don't want someone to sit back and let those good balls go right down the plate. You want these kids to be aggressive. It's the state championship. You know they're excited. Maybe that a little adrenaline will put one over the fence.
And that good cut by Amy Somerville. And that's also a tribute to the other pitchers. If you know they're going to be throwing strikes, you're not going to wait around.
Very true.
Out on a grounder to second baseman, her first time up. The lefty fouls it back, and quickly she goes after pitches by Smith. 0-2. One out, top half of the fifth, when the Class AA championship game. My man Penson, along with me, is Olympic medalist, gold medalist Danny Tyler, and we're having a great time watching great softball.
That's what it's all about, enjoying this game, because it's such a great game. It's about the love of the sport.
Oh, the changeup by Smith. Oh.
She may not be thinking it's such a great game right about now, but it was a good pitch. That's hard to hold back on.
And after 2 outs now, quickly.
Let's look at this changeup again. She's just way in front. And I tell you, Kristen Smith has such a great changeup, it's hard to hold back. It really is.
Well, Renando from Lockport, the catcher, looks at an outside pitch. Most catchers have good eyes.
They sure do.
Look at the concentration as she eyes Kristen Smith. There it goes. It's maybe in the gap. There's a hit right there and into right field. Renando makes the turn, makes them throw, but they hold her at first.
Renando, the one with the key hit in the last game to get him here. Let's see it one more time. It's a good pitch by Kristen Smith, but Renando just goes down for it and goes with it, which is something you have to do with an outside pitch, and just pops it in there. That's what you got to do. She's going to get it started for these guys with 2 outs.
Well, and that's what they did in the semifinal. With 2 outs, they caused all the damage, so that's no problem. At ball hard hit at second baseman Spezio, but Art comes right up with it. The outstanding defense of the Potters after 1 hit and 1 runner left on base. We'll be back. Hey, there's some people that like our coverage. Hello to you all too, and let's just remind you that for the only full half hour dedicated to the high school athlete, check out Sears Schoolyard Jam only on Sports Channel this month on the Jam. Brandon Thompson goes one-on-one with Cubs pitcher Kevin Foster. And we'll meet Lake Park High School's track phenom Anthony Morton. And part 2 of Amy Stone's interview with Chris Everett. All of these great stories, plays of the month, and more on Sears Schoolyard Jam. This month only on Sports Channel. And there's your line score as that ball is popped up to Gina Calderon, who squeezes it for out number 1 off the bat of Angie Waykazer.
Just got a little bit under it. Didn't it look like that? Just a little under.
And Waykazer's had 2 high fly balls, 1 to left and 1 to second base, and that will bring up Amanda Schmidgall, the first baseman. Glasscock is throwing an outstanding ball game. So far, not a lot of action on the base pass,
which I'm sure is something that Lockport likes very much.
And we're not going to talk about what that means. But we will tell you that Schmidgall is up. Don't want to jinx anybody here tonight. Look at that concentration. 1 out. We're in the bottom half of 5, and strike down a pipe. Evens the count at 1-1. So we got 1s across the board. 1 out and 1-1. The count on Schmidgall.
You know, it's nice to see. You see all these big companies now making a lot of contributions to women's sports, and especially women's softball. You have Louisville Slugger, Wilson, Worth, all of these people are noticing that softball is a great game. There's a lot of people going after it, and now there's a market for women in sports, and you'll never know. Maybe one of these girls someday will be representing one of those things.
And now, you were down here, Danny, in high school playing. Did you ever think you'd be an Olympic athlete?
Never. But now look at, you probably have one of them out there in the field today. You never know.
Who will it be? But I'll tell you what, as outstanding as Illinois high school sports are, somebody will be there someday. And that ball is out number 2 and brings up Tammy Spezio. Now, I'm real sure that Gigi McIntosh is awake right now because Spezio is the one who hit her with the line drive. Glasscock, take a look. 14 straight batters. And that ball fouled out by Spezio, and it's a lot further away from McIntosh this time. I'm sure she likes it going the other way.
I think McIntosh just took a big sigh of relief there.
I think that she's awake. She's looking, she's concentrating. She shook it off. Ball high, and wasn't going for it. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 5th. Morton is down only by 1. A very closely contested championship softball game, just the way they're supposed to play them. Change of pace down to Lindemann, who runs it halfway to first and then tosses to Georgianis for the out. And down go the Potters in the bottom half of the 5th. So after 5 complete innings, it's still Lockport 1, Morton 0. Well, you see the lights are on in this beautiful summer evening, and so far it's been a defensive struggle.
You know what's nice to see is the great defense. A lot of coaches don't put as much emphasis on defense, but now you've seen in the recent years that is what wins ball games, just like Gigi McIntosh said. If you got a solid defense, you're going to win.
Some people worry about the fact that when pitchers dominate games, there's little or no action, similar to soccer in our country. What about that when people suggest that?
Well, you know, you always got to be ready. Playing on the Olympic team, we had the best pitchers in the country, and I tell you, sometimes we had maybe 1-2 hits a game. What we had to do is be prepared for it to come anytime, and it's kind of a mental thing, which is in this game, any type of sport, there's so much mental part of it, and that's what a lot of coaches are now telling their players.
That ball fouled off the tip as Beneventi tried to get the bat out of the way, and it hit the knob on the end of the bat. Strike 1, she smiles. Darn. That's a tough way to get a strike.
You see this again, it hits right on top.
Oh.
Tried to hold back. Isn't that the worst?
Just can't do it. Going high goes Kristen Smith. And it's 2-1. Leadoff hitter, top of the 6th. Lockport had a run in the 1st, was silent until a runner in last inning, and Waycaser goes over 3rd to 1st for that out on Beneventi. So grounded to short, then grounded to 3rd. She's kept it down. And that will bring up the top of the lineup, Katie Blackmore.
There's Coach Barb Burke again. Got to be happy with the score right now, but still got to go through 2 more innings.
Oh, it's so nerve-wracking. I mean, 1 run is nothing against any team in this tournament, especially a team like Morton. You know they're capable of just blasting out of it at any time. Now, Blackmore scored the only run of the ball game. She got on a walk, and she'd love to get an insurance run, because 1 run may just not be enough in this kind of ball game.
Especially when you're going against the Cardiac kids.
Blackmore, just a sophomore, tries to change. Unusual. Don't usually see that to a leadoff hitter too often because they're not power hitters. And the count even at 1-1. Goes inside. Don't want her leaning on. Most leadoff hitters crowd the plate a bit. They'll try anything to get on, whatever it takes. 2-1. Katie Blackmore, the right fielder. And that ball, she went outside that time, so she's moving it around, like you said, painting those corners.
Sure, and Katie Blackmore, she is a quick runner, and that's what most coaches do. They put their fastest kid on first.
Down the pipe, hit down in the hole. Now let's see if the right fielder, not this time. A tough play because you had a lot of speed going down the line. So a base hit for Katie Blackmore, and she does just what leadoff's supposed to do.
She's supposed to get on. And here comes our second batter. Let's see, but first let's take a look at this again. Blackmore goes well with this low outside pitch, just takes it to right field. And because the ball was hit so sharply, she really had to hustle or they were going to get her at 1.
Gina Calderon, who loves to bunt, in the second position. Let's see how they try to advance this runner. Squares the bunt, no play. They went outside, would have almost been impossible for her to reach that one.
You really have to put so much emphasis on the short game, the bunting. And a lot of coaches are starting to realize how important it is. And you know, so many people think, oh, I want to be the big hitter, come through with the big hit. But it is very important to get that bunt down so you can get that runner over and hopefully get a run out of it. It worked last time for the Porters. Let's see if it can happen again.
2-0 the count. A lot of strategy to play with here. Blackmore on first. Squares around, puts it down, and foul, touched. Of course, it's not foul until it's touched by a player, unless it goes over foul beyond first base. So good play by first baseman Schmidgall to make sure it stayed that way. And the count's 2-1. Blackmore checking the signals with first base. Calderon in the box. Now it's 2-2. What about bunting? Do you suspect they'll bunt with 2 strikes on? Of course, if you foul, you're out.
From a coach's point of view, you really can only give the bunt if you're very, very confident that your player's going to put it down. In this situation, I'd hit away.
And she did. That ball flied out, and Spezio grabs it for the out. So a pop-up by Calderon will bring up Jenny Lindemann. Now, Jenny, of course, hit the shot to left field. Well hit, but well played by Schlappe. Let's see what happens now with a runner on. Two outs. Blackmore on first. Lindemann, who can be a long ball hitter at bat. They come right at her with a change of pace.
You know, it's kind of funny to see is when you're watching the batter here, keep your eyes on the back of her helmet. Sometimes they have these new things that girls can fit their ponytails through. They're trying to change equipment for women, which is nice to see. We'll see how long that lasts, though.
She squares around a bunt, going down, protecting the runner, and she is there. See if she goes to third. No, backed up nicely by Kneeling. So she covered for the steal, and now we have a Porter in scoring position in the person of Blackmore.
Let's see that again. We were talking earlier about Katie Blackmore's speed, and they utilize it here. A good fake bunt. Coming down. Might have got her tough play there. It was a good throw, just a little bit low.
So now we'll have a conference on the mound. That throw by Monroe a little bit low. So we're going to talk about our strategy. There are 2 outs, so of course we've got it. The batter is the one you want to get out, but if there's a hit, the strategy, of course, is where are we going to try to keep the runner?
And Jenny Lindemann, she is a great hitter. You've got to have a lot of confidence in her. She had some big hits in the last game. She's hitting the ball well tonight, playing excellent at third base.
She's loose. She's walking around. Chewing that gum, I'm ready. Barb Burke giving the signals, making sure that her runner out at second knows. Of course, third baseman Angie Waykazer is in quite a bit. And that ball well hit out to right field, curving foul and long and out. But Amber Stahura, who has been awesome out there, squeezes it for out number 3, and the rally is killed. So we'll be back with the Potters coming to bat right after this in the bottom half of the 6th. There is your line score. It's the bottom half of the 6th. 2 more chances for Morton to tie this ball game up, and the Cardiac Kids are up now.
And you look down in the crowd and you see the Morton fans. They're up, they're excited. They want this hometown team to come through. And is it time for these Cardiac Kids to come through?
Well, we've only got 2 halves of innings to go, and I'm Ann Penstone and Danny Tyler bringing this game to you, having a great time, as the first batter for the Cardiac Kids of Morton will be Angela Simmons. Flight out to left her last time. And she faces Dawn Glasscock. That ball a little bit low. And we're underway in the bottom half of the 6th. This is the AA championship game, and it has been just exactly what you'd expect. A strategic struggle. All the scoring has been in the first, and only a couple base runners since then.
Yeah, because we've had 2 great combinations, great pitching, great defense, and that's why we've got a 1-0 game. This is what you want for a championship.
1-1 the count. Simmons, just a sophomore. The shortstop, fouled back. And Glasscock goes ahead of the hitter. She has been ahead of the hitter all night, and that's one of the reasons they've been so successful. Showing no signs of any fatigue of having her 3rd game in 24 hours.
Oh no, these kids are tough. And from the summer, sometimes they play 3-4 games a day, so this shouldn't be a big problem for these guys.
Oh, tries to change up. She smiles, but no, even to 2-2. That's true, and a lot of times when you have these classy teams and these great teams, extra inning games are not unusual.
Oh no, especially not in this game. Softball is so quick, and so many times it's dominated by pitchers. And sometimes you have a 0-0 game.
Well, the pitcher's fatigue probably is not a big issue as that ball goes out on the fly ball catch by Georgianis, because they work quickly. They're not waiting, batters are not waiting around for the first pitch. There have been a lot of balls hit on the first pitch, so they haven't had to throw a lot of pitches.
Yeah. The neat thing to see, and the great thing about this game, is that it's so fast-paced. Some people complain about baseball, it takes so long. This game is quick, and that's what the fans are always into it. Constantly have to pay attention.
Ganaway takes ball one inside the designated hitter. And the circle that the pitchers pitch out of, that has eliminated a lot of the cat and mouse things that used to go on in base paths. That's been a real addition. It's not particularly new, but it's something you don't see in baseball. And of course, when the pitcher or any player has the ball in that circle, a runner has to make a move one way or the other. And whichever way they go, they have to keep going that way or they're called out. So you don't see the dancing that you do in baseball.
Oh, yeah. You know what I love about this game, Ann, is that it's such a pure sport. I mean, you see these girls playing it. They're playing it because they love it. They're not playing for the money. They're not playing for the hype. They're playing for the pure love of this game. And you see it in their faces, and you see it in their hearts. And it is so fun to watch.
3-0 to Ganaway. So after being way ahead, we have a base runner and smile by Glasscock on the first walk issued by her this game. So a leadoff walk in the person of Joy Ganaway, and we'll bring up Jenny Neely as Gigi McIntosh smiles and calls timeout to talk strategy.
I wonder what's going through her head with that smile. She might be thinking, here we go, these are my kids, the cardiac kids are coming to play. It's the bottom of the sixth, and we're ready to go.
Center fielder Jenny Neely, who has good speed and bats left and has attempted bunts. We may see a bunt, and we may see a pinch runner as McIntosh discusses it. Looks like we're going to have some kind of change. Talking to the home plate umpire, that's Ted Knapp. And he's discussing with McIntosh what the change will be.
We've had great umpires all tournament. It's been nice to see. It's a tough job for these guys because you really can't come out a winner or a loser either way. But I tell you, these guys have been doing a great job, and it's very nice to see.
You know, it's a championship for them. They have earned the right to be here as well. They're selected because of the ratings by coaches throughout the year. And they were working in three-person crews as at the state tournament. They normally work in two-person crews, as you see Bobby Mattingly on the left down there, who's headed up these umpires. And we've got a strategy. What's happening right now is Knapp is telling Lockport's coach Barb Burke who is coming in so they can keep it in their book. And I believe we have a pinch runner. We'll check for you who that is, and running out there for Ganaway. When we get her number for you, we'll let you know who that is out there in first. She knows her job. It's to fly down to second on the bunt attempt that is fouled off.
Glasscock did a good job. She threw a rise. It just popped right off her bat. That's really the pitcher's pitch in a bunt situation. You want to throw a rise. Here we go, scoring up to bunt again.
Tries to go high, and Cars dives back. That's Michelle Cars, a freshman. Whoa, what a good smile out of her. She goes down there, getting her first championship experience. Some question about whether she was there or whether we had any situations, but all cleared up now. The count is 1-1. There's one out, runner on first, and that's Morton's first base run of the ball game, and she represents the tying run.
Coach Gigi McIntosh there, down on third base, talking it over with her player. We get a look over at first. And there's Gigi again. I wonder what she's saying to her, Ann.
Whatever it is, I know it means move that runner into scoring position so the top of the lineup can come and bring her home. I love the attitude of Dawn Glasscock. No matter what happens, she just smiles and says, oh, this is great. And that's part of being a senior, realizing that it's all here for fun. And we're going to do the best we can. Nice bunt laid down. Lindemann goes on the fielder's choice. Neely is out, but she does her job and advances pinch runner Michelle Cars down to second. So now there are two outs, and that's going to bring the top half of the lineup in the person of Brooke Monroe.
Brooks, their leadoff batter, and she's obviously very quick.
We're in the bottom half of the 6th. Lockport has a 1-0 lead, and Morton is threatening. Up the middle. Can the throw come home? It's going to come home by Somerville. The lefty throws it too late, and our ball game is all tied up.
I guess you could say the Cardiac Kids came through again.
RBI for the junior. Look at the Potters. And down on second on the throw home by Somerville goes Brooke Monroe. With 2 down, it is all tied up. We have a brand new ball game.
And Brooke Monroe looks intense. There's those Potters. Let's see that again. Brooke Monroe did a great job with this pitch, right in the meat zone, and she took it. Yeah, tough play by Amy Somerville, huh?
It takes a whole lot to get through this infield, but that was the shot that did it. As you saw Renando grab it and look to go down to second when she realized it would not be in time to try to get the runner from getting to second, but Morton did a great job on the base pass, and Monroe came through, and that's going to bring up the pitcher trying to help her own cause, Kristen Smith. Big leadoff is Monroe down at second as Smith eyes Coach McIntosh. I got it, Coach, no problem.
And you look at Brooke Monroe, she took that big leadoff because they want to go ahead this inning. She's being very aggressive there at second base, and that's smart. That's great coaching by Gigi McIntosh. You want to get that other run.
Would you steal third in this situation with now having tied it up?
You know, I don't think I would steal third.
Whoa. Nice grab by Somerville on the tail-away liner for the out. That ball moved about 2 feet.
That sure did, and that's why I wouldn't steal third, because you got a great hitter in Kristen Smith. She hit that ball well. That's something we call an atom. Right there, a great shot, but a great play by Amy Somerville. She sprawled out and got that one.
As you see the great catch by Somerville, we're all tied up. It's a brand new ball game going into the top of the 7th, so stay with us. We'll be right back. As darkness falls, we have a tie ball game, 1-1 here at Middle Springs Park. I'm Ann Penson along with Danny Tyler, and you see the line score, the visitors, Lockport High School, and the home Morton Potters, and they've tied it up. And that will bring up Lockport in the person of Ginny Georgianis, who is due for a big hit.
Sure, she's the one that gave them that 1 run in the first inning. She's the one who hit it in.
That ball is outside and low. So Smith gets behind Georgianis, and I tell you what, she's not going to get a whole lot of meat to hit.
No, they know that she's a powerful hitter.
Oh, paint those corners, 1-1.
Kristen Smith's doing a great job. You don't want to look too far ahead, but I tell you, this Morton team, they could be back here again next year.
That ball sliced down underneath the glove of Spezio, and there goes to her. Oh! She has been known for throwing runners out at first, but this time Georgianis knew that and hustled down to first to beat it out.
Yeah, it was a great hit by Georgianis. We'll see it again. She goes well. Nice hit over there to right field. But I tell you, in this game of softball, the right fielder plays so close in, you really got to hustle, which Georgianis did.
Power hitter going with the pitch on the outside, so she took what they gave her. That brings up Peggy Casey. Peggy bunts, lays it down beautifully. First baseman Smidgall goes to the second baseman Spezio for the out, but the sacrifice is successful as Georgianis goes down to second.
This is exactly where Barb Burke wants to be. She's got 1 out, got Georgianis on second. I mean, right here, this could be your run. It's the top of the 7th. This would be the time to do it.
Amy Somerville, the batter. Amy, the lefty. The center fielder, the young lady who made that catch that we came in with this top of the inning on the tail-away liner. So she's done it with a glove. Let's see what she does with the bat. Lefty against lefty. A little bit late on that, fouls it out of play. 0-1.
You know, I was talking to Ginny Georgianis before the games, and she has some strange superstitions. She has 2 different socks on. She has a friend that writes on her arm before games.
And she's going down to third. Ball is high, and she is out on the aggressive base running.
I tell you, maybe those superstitions didn't work too well that time. That was a very aggressive play. It was a very tough call by that umpire, and the Lockport fans don't seem to like it too well. Let's see here. She comes in, Oh, tough call, but I think he made the right call.
She might have missed the base as she went by. Angie Waycaser reached back to grab her. It's tough to hear. They've got the best view. Brooke Monroe bobbled a little bit, and Georgiana's tried to take advantage, and at this time, you got to go for Brooke.
Oh, sure. Why not?
And that, we've still got Somerville at bat, but there's nobody out there for her to bring on, so she's going to have to start another rally.
You can see it in her eyes. She's very intense.
3-1 the count, two down. And she's going to be another runner, so she's done her job. And that will bring up Vicky Renando, the hard-hitting catcher for the Porters.
You know, it's tough to look back and say coulda, shoulda, woulda, but if Georgianis was on second base, we got Ronaldo up again. She's the one who had the big hit in the last game. You wonder what would be going through your head, but that's what sports are all about. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
Oh, right back at line drive. Way to charge it, Kristen, for the third out. So we've got 1/2 inning and regulation to play. We'll be right back with Morton coming to bat. Here's that last out of the ball game on the liner by Somerville. Oh. Or by Renando, sorry. Tell you what, you don't have time to think when that one comes back.
Oh, you sure don't. Kristen Smith walked off with a smile. You're only 40 feet away. That is self-defense.
People don't realize these kids are throwing over 50 miles an hour, 55 to 62, most of them, and they're only 40 feet away, which equates to near 90 for baseball.
Sure, it's all about reaction in the sport of fast pitch softball. That's why their bats and their swings have got to be very short and compact. They don't have the time to have those big, long swings like you see a lot of the baseball guys have.
Well, Morton has the last bats in regulation, and they've got 3-4 batters, 3, 4, and 5 up. This is Tahura, the right fielder. So you've got your meat of the lineup up in the 10th part of the ballgame.
I think Gigi McIntosh is happy. This is who they have up. Bottom of the 7th. This is something the kids dream about at night. Winning the state championship. Bottom of the 7th. Let's see what happens.
And bounced in by Glasscock. And the count goes 2-1. Nobody out. Bottom half of the 7th AA championship game. Amber Stahura, a junior who has had an absolutely phenomenal state tournament series, particularly with the glove. And now at the bat, hard hit right at, and Amy Somerville. And that ball is signaled out on the diving extended catch. So Somerville has come up big with her glove out in center.
She sure has. I think in the beginning there, she might have misjudged it. We'll get a chance to see it again here. It was a good hit by Amber, just to center. Might have kind of shook Somerville up a little, but she came in charging and made the excellent dive on that play.
Great catch. The umpire went out to make sure that it was caught and not trapped, and she made the good play. I tell you what, in center field is actually uphill to get to that ball, and sometimes players stumble on the way to get it. Cleanup hitter Angie Waycaser at bat. She's flied out twice, and she'd love to get hold of him. That's the only senior in the starting lineup for Morton.
She's really been a leader for these guys, and this is her 4th trip down here, her 4th trip to Pekin. People would love to do that, so she's really been the leader, the mainstay for this Morton team.
That means, translation, since she's been in the championship game so many times, 12 state tournament games. That's phenomenal, and maybe there aren't many people that have done that. We're not sure of the record, but I guarantee you there aren't many. Lots of people make it here 2 or 3 times but not get to the championship every time. Fouled off. She'll be playing college softball right here in Pekin-Peoria area, in Illinois Central College, for Hall of Fame pitcher Lori Ramsey. That ball well hit, again in the air, this time between second and right field, and squeezed by Calderon for the out.
Second baseman, round number 2. Bring up first baseman, Amanda Schmidtgall.
So at 2 down, it's looking more like we're going to play some more.
What a great night. I wouldn't mind spending some more innings out here. I mean, I think Barb Burke and Gigi McIntosh may disagree with us, but I wouldn't mind staying out here a few more.
Well, it's a lot easier than, it's almost easier to play it than it is to watch it, because you can do something about the outcome. Amanda Schmidtgall, the batter. Number 5 hitter in the Potters lineup. Hard hit right at Casey. She picks it up and guns it to Jordanis for the out, so that We go down 1, 2, 3. So we've had so much fun with 7. Let's play extra innings. We'll be back for the top half of the 8th right after this. There's beautiful Mineral Springs Park here in Pekin, Illinois, with the score all tied up in the AA championship game, and we're going extra innings with Lockport getting the first chance to bat again in the person of Rachel Bambrick, designated hitter. Rachel fouls it out of LA over towards the batting cages, and you see the maroon and gold of the Porters and her fans on the first base side. Bambrick has flied out to right and gone short to first on the ground as the fans wave to our cameras. And that ball is high and outside. 1-1.
Rachel's a designated hitter, and she's in this position for a reason. She's very good at the plate. This would be a good time for her to come through.
That ball is hit strongly. Oh! Big play by Jenny Neely. That ball was taking off like a plane by the time it got out there. Oh.
Let's see that one more time. Bambrick hits the crud out of this ball straight to center field. But look at that grab. Excellent job by Jenny Neely.
Tell you what, that ball just took off. There's a smile by Neely. Maybe relief. And Tracy Benevetti is up. Grounded out twice. She's put the ball in play and made the Potters make her work to get her out. Number 9 batter. As you look at Kristen Smith, 19-3, would love to make it 20. As would Don Glasscock. It's anybody's ball game. The Porters have the first chance at these extra innings. That's what they had coming out. 1 out, 1-1. Benevetti on the changeup, looks at it, strike 2.
Both these pitchers have been doing a great job changing speeds, and we see here with Kristen Smith a great changeup. Keeps it low. That's what a pitcher needs to do.
That ball fouled. I think it caught part of her hand as well as the bat. But the count remains 1-2. You know, the changeup is only effective if it's disguised.
Most definitely, and both these pitchers have been doing a great job. Kristen also throws very hard. So when all of a sudden a pitch comes in about 10-15 miles an hour slower, these batters are way ahead of it. And they've been doing a great job disguising these pitches.
She seems to be all right. Trainer checked her out. I tell you, it's a hand thing tonight. First Gigi and now Tracy. That ball just outside, evens the count at 2-2.
You know, when your hands are on the bat, they are considered part of the bat. So if the ball comes in and hits your hand, you'd think they did get a free base, but they really don't. It's considered part of the bat and a foul ball.
Down to Spezio, and underhands it to Smith-Golfer, out number 2. And that brings up the leadoff hitter, Katie Blackmore. Now, Katie has done yeoman's work here as leadoff hitter. This is her 4th time up, and she's been on 2 out of 3 times.
That's what you want in your leadoff hitter, for her to be on, because she's kind of like the table setter, people say, and then the 3, 4, and 5 come in and knock her in.
Concentration by assistant coaches from Morton. So Blackmore at the plate with 2 outs. Good eye. That's another thing leadoff hitters often have, is good eyes, because they draw a lot of walks and get hit a lot. Any way to get on.
You can do it, come on!
I'm surprised that that's the 2nd time when she's been up that they've thrown her that changeup, and she hasn't bitten it either time. 2-0. So ahead is the batter, Katie Blackmore. Fouled out of play, 2-1. It's a beautiful night. There's a lot of humidity in the air, and you can see the sweat on Kristen Smith as we got close-ups of her at pitching, and everybody's having a good time at the ballpark. But I tell you what, it's going to be some little thing that's going to spark everybody, and it's going to turn this ball game. When you've got 2 teams as even as these are, it'll be a little thing that'll make a difference. 3-1 the count. And you can't fall asleep or let your mental concentration lapse. That ball down, Waycaser got it and throws to first for the out. So in the top half of the 8th inning, the Porters unable to get a rally going, and that will bring up the bottom half of the 8th with Morton. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Tammy Spezio. That may be a Texas leaguer, and that's going to drop in in front of Katie Blackmore. And we have a runner in that represents the championship run right now in the person of Tammy Spezio down at first.
You know, in a defensive position, you think, oh, I hate those balls. They just drop in there. But in the books of Morton, that's a single. It could have been a line drive. It could have been a blooper. But I tell you what it is. It's a runner on first that could win it for him.
Now we're going to get a pinch runner from Morton. Number 2, Delisa Nestrud will run. And that's the second pinch runner we've had. So coach is pulling out all the stops, being real clear about what we're doing. And there's no doubt about her job. Get down in scoring position.
You know what's nice, too, is these coaches know how important it is for these kids to get into the state championship game. And she's using her players. Almost all the kids have had a chance to play in the game so far, and that's very important. These coaches know what it's all about. It's about winning, but it's also about a lot of other things, like the love of the sport and having fun.
And at bat, Angela Simmons, the sophomore shortstop, with a chance to advance the runner any way she can. Bunt, hit, walk, whatever it takes. The next run could be for a state championship. We know one thing for sure. Both these teams have been here before, have had the second place, and there will be no losers out here tonight. They played championship ball, and it's just a matter of who gets to take home the big trophy. Someone's going to break their jinx tonight.
I think we're going to see a bunt here.
Foul ball, and Boyd taking off. Nestrud got a good lead off the pitch. Of course, you can leave as soon as the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, and she got a good break on the ball. But you've got to be aware that nothing gets lined or that the bunt pops up.
It's very important for that runner on first base in a bunt situation to really see that ball down. Because sometimes if you're being too aggressive and you get off too far, your catcher's going to pick you off. And in Ronaldo, we got a great catcher, and I'm sure she'd be quite willing to do that.
There you take a look at the safety base, and that's something that you don't see all over the state.
No, we had it in the Olympics. It's the orange base on the right there. And what it is, it's a safety base so that when the runner's coming down first base, they don't really get a collision with the first baseman receiving the ball. And it's nice to be safe. You know, you don't want any extra injuries that really don't need to be there.
Gigi McIntosh talking strategy with Simmons to make sure that they're clear and making sure their signals are straight. Because we talked about little things winning championships. And now is the time to make them happen. The Morton Potters right now in the bottom half of the 8th. Whoa, fakes the bunt and swings away. Drew the infield in and then swung away. Strike 2. Don't know if that was a cover for a steal or...
Yeah, it looked to me like she was doing a slap bunt because when she showed bunt, Lockport first baseman and third baseman came in very aggressively, so she pulled back to slap to see if she can get one to go through the infield.
Nobody out, 2 strikes, probably swinging away now. And a big pitch by Glasscock for the strikeout.
Glasscock really came through in that situation. Morton was being very aggressive, but you've got to be aggressive in this situation. Here's the pitch again by Glasscock. She threw a nice rise, just jumps right over her bat.
When's the best time to steal, if you're going to?
In a state championship, when you have to, I'd say. Right now, I'd be safe. I'd try to get her over and hit her in.
Joy Ganaway puts down the bunt. Over goes Glasscock for the fielder's choice, and the sacrifice works. So down at second base goes pinch runner Delisa Nestrud, representing the winning run. Coming to bat, center fielder Jenny Neely, who made that great jumping catch.
We're going to see that bunt again, and just like you were saying earlier, Ann, little things make a ball game. And she places this bunt down perfectly, just enough time for that runner on first base to make it second safely.
2 outs, bottom of the 8th, Jenny Neely. Runs as if she's going to bunt. Now, she could drag bunt. She's very capable, has good speed. And Georgianis is way in and actually over towards second a little more than usual.
A neat thing about Jenny Neely, too, is that she can also slap, and that's what a lot of coaches have with their left-handed batters, but she tries there. And what a slap is for a left-handed batter is they run from the back of the box up, and they run towards the front and just try to slap it on the ground and utilize their speed. That way they're one step closer to first base.
Glasscock way ahead, 0-2 to Neely. That ball popped. Oh, boy, I tell you what, when Georgianis came across, she could have distracted Calderon, but Calderon made a great concentrated effort and grabs that for the 3rd out and snuffs out the rally. So after 8 complete innings, it's still 1-1, so we'll go to the top of the 9th. We'll be back. There's the visitor score 1, and as we pan across in the 9th inning, home is also 1. And the Porters are visitors, the Morton Potters are home, and we're all tied up. And I guess if you're going to decide a state championship, you might as well go all the way. And we've gone 7. We're obviously 2 innings over, and that just shows how equitable these teams are. Our batter for right now will be the second batter, the young lady who squeezed for the outliner of the last half of the inning, and Gina Calderon, the senior second baseman. Gina flied out to the second base her last time up. That ball caught on the tip by Brooke Monroe, and strike 1. Kristen Smith goes ahead.
A lot of intensity in Kristen Smith's face. She probably thought, if I can make it 7, now I've made it 9. Why don't we go the whole way?
What is the whole way?
Who knows? But this night, let's hope it goes on forever, because this has been a lot of fun.
Calderon looking for her first time on base. Bat second in the lineup. That ball outside. 2-1. So obviously she bunts a lot. Nobody to move over right now. She's in effect the leadoff hitter in the top of the 9th. That ball goes inside, so 3-1. It's going to have to be pretty good, because any way you get a ball player, you'll take a base runner, you'll take it.
Right now, from a batter's point of view, you want to put your strike zone a little smaller. Your pitch.
And there it goes down, and through. So Calderon swinging away is on base, and there's some excited Lockport Porters. Finally, that ball had eyes for Gina.
If we see it again, which just like we were talking about, this could be her pitch. It was a little low, but she went down and got it. And it just got through the infield. If we look at that swing again, she really goes down, great extension, stays with the ball.
Great to see kids who keep their eye on the ball. They actually see the contact with the bat. And there's a smile from Calderon down at first. She's number 2 batter, and that'll bring up Lindemann. Lindemann has hit the ball hard twice and yet to find a hole, as had Gina Calderon. Look at those eyes.
I don't know, Ann, would you bunt in this situation again?
You're the expert. And that's why Barb Burke has 25 years of experience to call upon to make those decisions. And plus, she's there every day at practice. No matter what we think or anyone else thinks, she's the one who knows the players over seasons of long, hard work. That bunt goes down. And that ball is successfully done. Lindemann advances the runner and came very close to getting on herself. But it is a sacrifice. Route number 1. Down to second goes Calderon.
If we look at it again, it's a perfectly placed blunt. And, you know, a lot of times, a lot of people like to bunt to the pitcher because the pitcher's been throwing underhand all day. It's hard to throw it overhand, but Kristen Smith came through.
I've seen a lot of errors by pitchers trying to throw overhand. That's true. A lot of pitchers actually throw to first underhand because they're more comfortable. This brings up cleanup hitter Ginny Georgianis. The senior who laces one out to center field. Tag goes Calderon, and she's going to advance on the deep hit fly ball by Georgianis. I'll tell you, the humidity, I think, is holding up some of these balls because they look like they're going to go a little further, but they're heavy tonight. Well hit, but right at Neely.
You couldn't ask more for Georgianis. If anything, let's move that runner over. And she has a great hit here. It's just an atom ball that a lot of people say, right at the center fielder. But she does her job, and she moves the runner over to third.
Now, of course, that puts a little pressure on Brooke Monroe and Kristen Smith to make sure that it's catchable, no pass balls, no wild pitches, because anything will mean a run. And Peggy Casey at bat, shortstop, sacrificed her last time up. And that ball may fall in. If it is fair, and it is going to tail away. And you've got it. There is the lead run in the first of Gina Calderon, who came home on that slice base hit just over first by Casey.
That's a great way to come through for Peggy Casey. That's all you need, a little bloop right over the first baseman's head. That's all you need to get the run in. If we take a look at it one more time, it's an outside, it's an inside pitch. She just punches it through.
Went with it, and you can see some Porters that are ecstatic there in the dugout as they take the lead. They've started this ball game with the lead and have now taken it once again.
That was really a team effort because that line drive by Georgianis that moved the runner over to third set that play up. And that's just what Barb Burke was talking about earlier in the day. This has been a team effort. Everyone has been consistently helping out, making their part, and right there, it made it happen again.
Well, now we've got a strategy session on the mound by Gigi McIntosh as the Lockport Porters go ahead 2-1. This is the top half of the 9th inning in the AA championship game. And Peggy Casey with that big RBI. And Amy Somerville now up to bat, the center fielder. Oh, laced down the third base line, but foul. I tell you what, 1 run is a lot, and it's crucial, but it may not be enough. We know how Morton comes back on 2 outstanding teams, so Lockport definitely wants to move a little bit more and get everything he can while the betting's good.
If Amy Somerville has anything to do with it, she'll try to hit this run in. She's got 1 on first base. They can get a couple more this inning. They've been very tough with 2 outs.
Good pitch. Comes back Kristen Smith, low and outside. 0-2 the count, 2 outs. The runner on first is is Peggy Casey, who had that RBI. Fouled up. Woke a few people up. Somerville, the lefty, freely swinging.
With 2 strikes, you've really got to go after any pitch that's close. We talked about it earlier. Your strike zone has got to open up. Amy Somerville does a great job at this.
Oh, she takes one. Close, 1-2. Couldn't get her to fish. Kristen Smith tried. That ball hit right back to Smith, who runs it over and underhands it to first for the out, but not before the Porters go ahead once again 2-1, and that will bring the Morton Potters to bat in the bottom half of the night. Stay with us. We'll be right back. There are some very happy Porter fans if they can hang on to this 2-1 lead as they show their clappers and go crazy. They would love to go crazy and keep the Potters at bay, but we have the Cardiac Kids coming up in the bottom half of the ninth.
You can never celebrate too early when you're playing Morton. They're a very tough team. Coach Gigi McIntosh, a player herself who is very intense, will never give up, and you can see that, it's the same thing in her players.
Well, the mound is discussing strategy. It's Don Glasscock, the senior on the mound, pitching to Vicky Renando, and up to bat, leadoff hitter Brooke Monroe. So the top of the order for the Potters in the bottom half of the ninth. They need a runner, and Brooke Monroe is just the woman to do it. As the leadoff hitter, that's her job. She got on last time up, and she'd love to do it again. She's 1 for 3, had a single last time up. And it was an RBI single as well. That ball hit to right field, could drop in, but Blackmore there and squeezes it for the out. Tell you what, Brooke Monroe was legging it to second. There's no doubt she'd have been on second if that ball had dropped, possibly even third. 1 out after that fly ball to right, and that brings up the pitcher, Kristen Smith, will face her counterpart, Glasscock.
I'm sure she's here to help herself out a little bit. She's here, she looks tough, very intense. She is a great hitter, and she could definitely come through for these guys.
Challenged by Glasscock, ball 1. Gonna have to find the pitch she wants. Inside, being very careful is Glasscock, not giving Kristen Smith anything good to look at.
You know what that is? It's a sign of respect. You know, you don't want to put anything good to a hitter that is tough.
She comes outside and low for strike number 1. 1 out, 2-1 the count, and the Porters are leading with the Morton at bat. Ball low, so Smith doing a great job of working Glasscock.
If you get a chance to look at the side of Kristen Smith's head, it says team. What that stands for is together everyone achieves more, and now would be the time to come together as a team.
Hard hit at Casey, gobbles it up, goes to first. Oh, I tell you what, this infield of Lockport has been so steady. Every ground ball, fundamentally sound. Talk about giving a pitcher confidence. They are 1 out away from a possible state championship. And look at the smile on Don Glasscock's face. If they can just hold on, and get Amber Stahura out. No matter what happens, this has been an outstanding ball game, and two great teams coached by two great women, and you hate to see anybody come out in the short end on this one. Stahura went lined on a rope to Somerville last time up. She'd love to find a gap right now.
There's Coach Gigi McIntosh. All she can do is sit back and see if the coaching has worked. But I tell you, this Lockport team is tough. This has been a fantastic championship game. We couldn't have asked for a better game.
We've got 7 seniors in the Lockport starting lineup, 1 for the Potters. It may be the Potters' last chance for a while with this, certainly with this crew. But these are 2 great programs. 3-1. So Glasscock has gone 3-1 to 2 successive batters. Playing out this tense moment in a championship game. Oh, rip fair. That ball hit third base. And Stahura going for 2, dives in, and she is safe with a double on a rip liner down the third base line. Oh, I love it.
It's never over till it's over. And that's what Morton was saying. If we could take a look at that one more time, she rips this ball, just pulls it down the left line, hits the bag, rolls right into left field, and she's an aggressive base runner and goes for 2, and now she's safely standing at second base.
I'll tell you what, if you could create a scene, you talked about kids in their dreams, as you look at the rip by Stahura, this time finds a gap. You create scenarios that you play over and over and over again in your mind, and right now we have the lone senior from Morton, the all-stater, up to bat, Angie Waykazer.
She's got a dirty runner on second base. I tell you, sometimes people think girls playing softball is not too aggressive. I guess you guys have seen with your own eyes tonight, this is tough, fast-pitch softball. These girls are giving everything they have, and they're leaving it out in the field.
Angie Waykazer with a deep breath. She started the season with a broken ankle, has come back strong, a credit to her, and the leadership that she's provided. Strike on the outside corner, big lead by Stahura out there. She's gonna make everybody worry about her and hopefully distract Glasscock. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Waykazer up the middle, dodged by Stahura. And the ball throw coming home, but not before sliding in safely comes Amber Stahura, and Waykazer, if you could look at the smile on her face. Holy cow. Talk about kids performing under pressure. Every time they've needed it, they've done exactly what it takes. And oh, what a play by Angie. I would expect a pinch runner for her with the bad ankle. Oh.
We look at that again, Ann, you called it earlier. It's the seniors' time to shine, and she comes through. Great shot up the middle. You've got a lot of speed in Amber Stahura. She comes home, and I tell you, Angie Waykazer sitting on second base with a big smile.
Well, before, all she was trying to do was tie this ball game up. Now she's sitting on second base, and she is the winning state championship go-ahead run. So I tell you what, talk about pressure. Let's see if they're going to substitute. We're getting some discussion here at the plate. You see the air cast on Angie Waykazer. She may be pinch run for, and yep, out goes number 1. So Gigi giving another young lady a chance. She's used 3 different pinch runners, and this one's Megan Crawford, a junior, getting a chance to run. And Angie with a big hug. And up to bat, Amanda Smidgall. Amanda, the first baseman, and she bats number 5.
You know, Angie is never going to forget that hit. It's times like this that stay there forever. There's her mom standing up, a very proud mom, supporting that senior. That's something that's going to live on forever.
So we're all tied up again as you see the sweat pouring off of Dawn Glasscock. As Megan Crawford out there on second base represents the winning run with Smidgall up to bat. Smidgall 0 for 3 tonight. And every player that we've talked about that's been due and has come through. So let's see what happens as the Cardiac Kids have another chance.
We talked earlier about the team on Morton's hats. It says team on the side, and they really came through. They came together as a team at the right time.
Down to the short step, Casey in the dirt, but oh, like nothing. Georgianis picks it up, and out of the inning get the Porters, but not before Morton ties it all up, and we're going to go to 10. So 2-2. Stay with us.
One runner left on base. Press box and a pair of...
Boy, you saw some fireflies, you see balloons, you see the beautiful lights of Mineral Springs Park here in Pekin, Illinois, where this game has been outstanding. You see the line score. Talk about outstanding. You see the 2 runs, but also look at no errors. Errorless ball, and catcher Vicky Renando for the Porters. They scored the go-ahead run in inning number 9. Let's see what they can do in inning number 10. They've been battling from that visitor spot all night long. Right back at Smith, and she throws overhand for out number 1. Renando batting 7th position. That's going to bring up designated hitter Rachel Bambrick. Rachel flied out to center her last time up. And we have a discussion on the mound. Here's Angie Waycaser in the picture, the young lady who got that RBI.
Barb Burke discussing something with the umpire. Looks like maybe a batter change or something else.
Looks like number 20 is going to enter the lineup. That will be Renee Wilkinson, a senior, another senior of the Lockport. Going to pinch hit for Bambrick. Wilkinson has been one of the designated hitters. They've alternated. She and Bambrick have alternated. So a familiar spot in the lineup where they pinch hit for Glasscock and give her a rest during the offensive half of the inning. Although that is not as common in softball, certainly at this level. Many of your hitters, or best hitters, are often your pitchers.
Yeah, because usually your pitchers are your incredible athletes, and usually they're a great player all the way around. Though some coaches like to sit their pitchers because, you know, there's a chance they can get hurt if they go up there and they hit. There's a chance they could get hurt if they're on the base pass. You wouldn't want your best pitcher jamming an ankle, or let alone get hit by a pitch. But I tell you, if she's a good athlete and you really think she's going to be someone to give you the runs, you're going to want to put her in the batting lineup.
Well, it's her first shot at the championship game, and Renee, a senior. Tell you what, it's been so nice to see these coaches get so many players into this ball game for a memory they will never forget. And the latest one is Renee. There's 1 out. We're in the top half of the 10th. And the Porters trying to mount an attack so the Cardiac kids can come back. Oh, that's what you want to do, put it in play. But there's right to Amber Stahura. She didn't waste any time going after a good pitch.
And Amber Stahura was playing a little bit in right field. Otherwise, that would have been a single. If you've been noticing from these teams, their right fielders are playing pretty close. They're not playing very deep. So there's a lot of these balls that are usually singles that these right fielders are snatching up.
And that brings up Tracy Beneventi, the left fielder. There's been a cat and mouse going on between Kristen Smith and Beneventi. She's had the one, of course, where the foul ball hit her hands. And some pitchers use some coaches use the number 9 spot to be a second leadoff. As you see, it looks like a substitute's coming in the person of Lockport number 17, Lisa Renando, sister of catcher Vicky. She's a junior coming in for Barb Burke. And she'll get a crack at it right now. So she's replacing Beneventi.
Barb Burke's looking for anybody new to kind of put a spark into this Lockport team. Their bats have been, you know, they've been spurting every now and then, but you never know. These kids on the bench, they've been watching the game. They want to get in there. You never know what they could bring to the team.
And I tell you, she certainly is well aware of how players will step up. Look at Glasscock stepping up in the pitcher's mound after the injury to their star freshman. That ball right down the pipe, strike 1 to Lisa Renando. She's up in the batter's box and crowds the plate, calls for time. I tell you what, you've been standing up all game, hadn't had a lot of swings. Trying an extra one there. Now ready. 2 outs, top of the 10th. Ann Penstone along with Danny Tyler. Outside. AA championship game. Well, I tell you what, these pitchers are earning their keep tonight. Going extra innings in the humid conditions. Attempts the bunt, strike number 2.
She might have thought the first and third baseman were sleeping a little bit. You really don't expect a bunt in this situation, so it might have been a smart play if it would have worked.
Oh, the changeup by Kristen Smith fools Lisa Renando, and out number 3 is a strikeout. That will bring up Morton in the bottom half of the 10th. So as you look at the fans who are enjoying the game, come back and stay with us right after this. Lisa Renando pinch hitting for the Porters against Kristen Smith.
That change up again, there we go. We've seen it all game. It's been very effective. Kristen Smith disguises it so well.
Everyone should get that experience just once to feel what that's like. And up to bat is Tammy Spezio, the second baseman for the Potters. Leadoff hitter, bottom of the 10th. Ball's low, and 2-0. So quickly, Glasscock goes behind this batter. Batter number 6 in the lineup.
No, that's been pretty tough for us to say all night. We had the Potters and the Porters. It's a tongue twister of a night for us.
And they have some history for their teams, too. They represent what their communities have done. That ball is high. The Porters, of course, are the gatekeepers of the locks up there in the Joliet Lockport area. And the Potters are known for their pottery there in Morton. So it's nice to see the community identification. 3-1 the count. So right now, of course, every runner is crucial. And Spezio just wants to get on. Foul back, evens the count, so the count is full as Glasscock works her way back from a deficit.
You know, a lot of times as a batter, you think 3-1 count. Should I wait for that perfect pitch to go after? Or you got to be aggressive and think to yourself, 3-1, our pitcher doesn't want to walk me. You got to be aggressive. You know the ball's going to be pretty close.
Going outside on the target. Oh, just a little low. Don Glasscock wanted that one, but Spezio with the good eye and gets the runner on to first. So Spezio represents the go-ahead run and nobody out.
Well, look at that pitch again by Glasscock. It's a nice pitch, just a little low.
And that ball bunted in the air, grabbed by Lindemann for the out, but an alert runner in the person of Tammy Spezio avoids a double play.
That's why the runner on first base, you got to be very, very attentive to what's going on at home plate. You've really got to watch that bunt down. And she did a great job. She noticed that it went up a little bit in the air. She kind of stood back a little bit, then hustled back to first base. Very, very good base running.
That bunt by Angie Simmons, and a strike to Ganaway. Joey Ganaway, the other player on the field wearing lucky number 13 on this Friday the 13th. Will it be lucky for the Porters or the Potters? Another strike as Glasscock, after getting behind the last batter, or again, behind Spezio, goes quickly ahead here. Sometimes pitchers do a lot better with runners on. They concentrate better.
They have to be closer to the plate.
Spezio looking for the sign, that ball up. Good lead. Comes back. Tell you what, Renando has a great arm, and she is such a smart catcher. I think that's a big reason why you're not seeing anybody stealing on her. Oh, there's that changeup, but the ball bounces. She can run down if it's dropped. Out at first, but there is a runner at second, and Spezio is the go-ahead run in scoring position.
We see that again. It was a changeup, but Rinaldi just couldn't hold on. It was in the dirt. It was a tough pitch to grab, but she hustled after it and got the runner at first base. But now we do have a runner at second. That runner at first advanced.
You know, I tell you, that's another example of heads-up ball playing and how experienced these kids are. There wasn't even a hesitation. She knew, I'm running. Drop third strike, I could be a runner that we wouldn't normally get. You look at the Potters, from Morton, concentrating as Gigi McIntosh talks with her batter, Jenny Neely, at the plate.
This game has really stepped up a level from past years. I remember when I was here in '90 playing in the state championships, the game wasn't as fast-paced as it is right now, and these girls are learning. It's incredible to see how every year this game of softball is getting better and better.
And there's more depth on all these teams. The quality of depth is phenomenal. That ball popped up on the slap, on over to Lindemann, and squeezes it for the out. So the rally is snuffed out by the Porters, and they'll come to back in the top half of the 11th inning. Don't go away, we're all tied up. As you look at Kristen Smith from Morton getting ready to face her 11th inning of pitching. These are like two prize-fighting teams. It's 11th round and nobody's going down.
They're giving it everything they have. It's a state championship. You really got to. Who's going to go home with that big state championship trophy?
I tell you, it's a lot easier to watch this than it must be to coach it or be out there playing it. Although, you know, this is what you dream about, and it's just such a cat and mouse game, a strategic battle right now between Barb Burke and Gigi McIntosh and the execution of their players.
And they've both been in these situations before. They know what to do. I couldn't ask for two better coaches to be out in the field.
Well, up for the 5th time tonight comes Katie Blackmore, leadoff hitter for the Porters. And she's going to face Kristen Smith. Oh, that ball off the glove of Angie Simmons, and hustling down goes Blackmore, who makes the turn and says, no, coach says get back here, because once you make that turn, you're liable to be put out. But laced off the glove of Simmons.
Katie Blackmore really hit that ball well. We'll get a chance to see it again here. Their leadoff batter said sometimes leadoff batters don't have that much power. They're not known for that, but Katie Blackmore showed it there and then showed her speed.
That ball is ruled an error off the glove of Angie Simmons on the hard hit. That ball went down, bunted, out foul. And I tell you what, if you're talking about bunt situations, exactly what you want to have your second batter in a bunting situation.
Yeah, because we have the first batter in the lineup on first base. He's obviously got some speed. We just have to look for Jenny Calderon here to put the bunt down. That was a good bunt there, but it was a smart move by the first baseman of Morton to let that ball go. That would have been a tough play for her. She let it go foul. It was a good play.
That ball low. No attempt there, 1-1. Now Calderon, of course, laced the single and scored in the 9th on the RBI by Casey. Right now, she's being asked to sacrifice. And puts it down. Beautiful bunt. Down to first. Amanda Schmidgall tosses to Spezio for the out, but the sacrifice is successful, and the go-ahead run and Katie Blackmore out on second.
I think the bunt is so effective. Sometimes I really wonder, why don't they bunt as, you know, a little bit more in baseball? It's so effective when you see it in softball. Now you've got a runner in scoring position. You think they'd do it more in baseball.
I'll tell you what, of all the batters I've been waiting to break out of this is Jenny Lindemann, who has just hit some ropes. But just, like you said, the atom balls. Number 3 batter. We got a runner at second. The outfield is in somewhat more shadow, even though she can hit for distance, because they've got to protect the run.
And Lockport's got to be very confident right now. They've got Jenny Lindemann up right now, who's very powerful. And then their leading hitter, Ginny Georgianis. We've only got 1 out. This could be a big inning for Lockport.
And of course, Peggy Casey after that, should they get runners, and she had their RBI the last time up. So a nice part of the lineup if they can execute right now. And oh, the butterflies that must be going out there. Smith facing Lindemann. A lazy liner squeezed by Spezio, so a tough hitter and a big out for Kristen Smith.
Yeah, that was a great pitch by Kristen Smith. She really just got it in on the hands of Lindemann. That's a tough pitch to handle. We can see it again right here. A good pitch. There we go, right on the hands. All she could do was give it just a lazy little pop up to second base.
Well, Ginny Georgianis, a 400 hitter at the plate, the hard-hitting first baseman who we cameoed in the open. She's 2 for 4, but none would be as big as this one. Hard hit right at shortstop. Simmons, and a big stretch by Schmidgall for the out. Ooh, it could have been a very tense play, but she manages to get it done. And the Potters will come to bat after the Porters threatened. Bottom half of the 11th coming up. Well, there you see it as the Lockport Porters take the field. It is the bottom half of the 11th, and the Morton Potters trying to put something together. Lockport threatened unsuccessfully. And it's Brooke Monroe. Oh, tries to hustle it down, but thrown out for out number 1.
Peggy Casey has been so solid at shortstop. It's nice to see all these great defensive plays. It shows the excellent fundamentals that we talked about earlier. If we take a look again at Peggy Casey, you'll see she stays down on this ball. Both hands there, and a strong throw to first base.
Well, there have been some people who have said this may not only be the best infield in Illinois this year, but perhaps ever. And I'll tell you what, they're putting on a clinic here tonight, and that's not anything to take away from Morton, who's outstanding. They're just, this is an older lineup. And they have played together for so long, it's like second nature. Now, Morton has a lot of the kids back that played in the championship game last year, but they're in different positions. Now they're more natural position now that seniors have graduated. And this is Kristen Smith, who's 2-1.
Like you were talking about earlier, how they're moving from position to position. It is so important to be versatile, and especially in this game.
Whoa! Ripped over the shoulder of Glasscock. Kristen Smith decides to help her own effort right there with a rope.
Great hit by Kristen Smith. All Dawn Glasscock could do was move out of the way there. We see this come right up the middle here. Excellent shot.
Into your living room right here.
Right up the middle. Dawn, if you look at the swing on her, she stays back, really pivots through and uses her hips. That's what you got to do as a woman. Use that back strong pivot to give you power and quick hands. And she did it right there, Kristen Smith. Perfect swing.
Sahura has had a shot, a double last time up, and scored. Glasscock discussing something with her catcher. So there's a runner on first, there's one out. It's the bottom half of the 11th. And of course, a run is golden.
It's nice to see these players looking up to Gigi McIntosh. Everyone has a smile on their face. This is a really big situation with 2-2 in the 11th, but still they have time to smile. And they look up to Gigi McIntosh. You can see him looking in her eyes, and she's saying to them, I believe in you, you can do it.
Dawn Glasscock equally intent upon cutting them down. Oh, let's look at it by Amber Stahura. She wants to know if that was, catcher asked the home plate umpire if there was a swing. And he's looking down at Sally Walker about whether or not there was a swing. She was looking at the runner on first, but I know she saw the play in question. Outstanding umpiring here as you look at Amber Stahura. Fly ball out to Casey and squeezes for out number 2. It's about the only thing they've missed tonight was the pass back by Casey over to Glasscock, who dropped it. But everybody alert. Georgianis was right there to make sure no advancement by Smith. And now Angie Waykazer, who is the young lady who is the heroine to tie this ball game up. A senior third baseman at bat, 1 for 4. Can she do it again? Ball high.
You see there, pitcher and pitcher. We've got Kristen Smith on first base. Dawn Glasscock pitching right now. Both of them in your screen.
Foul back. Right to our position back here. We got brand new fencing here this year and a brand new tarp too. And we really needed it yesterday as they had a 3-hour rain delay. But this field is in absolutely phenomenal condition. Drains really well. That sloped outfield helps it drain.
It's always fun to come back here to Pekin. They've got a great community, and they're always very supportive of all the teams coming in from all over the state.
Angie Waykazer rips one to right, but underneath of it camping is Katie Blackmore, who moved well off the pitch and squeezes route number 3. So another rally snuffed out. And let's go again. Let's play 12. We'll be back right after this. Well, that's as even as you can get. And that one error that we saw was even a touchy one. It was a hard hit liner off the shortstop's glove. So I tell you what, these two teams have done just what the coach has said. Defense wins championships, and they put it out tonight.
Sure do. And Peggy Casey here looking very intently on getting a very good base hit. I'm sure she'd love to start it off for Lockport. If you look over, you see the fans there by the balloons. It's been a long night for them, but they're excited. They've got the clappers going. Such a fun night to be out here. A great game of softball.
And Peggy Casey at the bat. And she rips a long fly ball out to Neely, who moves over easily and makes the grab for out number 1. So the defenses have been solid. The pitchers have been very close around the plate. And it's just a matter of who gets the breaks at this point, or who creates them. Brings up Amy Somerville. A lefty.
You saw her stepping up there for maybe a slap hit. And as you see here, she's setting up back in the box. You might see her running towards the ball for a slap again.
She had faked it. Count goes 1-1.
Somerville's made some spectacular plays today in center field.
And there she goes on the slap. Waykazer throws her out, says Sally Walker, for out number 2.
Ronaldo up again. She's came through with some very big hits in the past tournament. It'd be nice to see her come out here and start them off again with 2 outs.
Strike 1, outside corner. Smith on the good pitch.
This is really a tribute to these pitchers. It's the 12th inning, and they are still pitching fabulously. You think they might have gotten a little bit tired, but not these guys. These are true competitors.
Well, it's not like you're saving anything for tomorrow, because there is no tomorrow. Ball high. 2-1's the count, 2 outs to the batter.
You know, you look at this Morton team, they all have the white headbands on. I wonder if that's a team thing, if it's maybe a superstition somewhere or another.
I'm kind of worrying because I've been fortunate to see this Morton team for 4 years as it called off nicely. Amber Testura said, hey, Miss Spezio, I got it, and that's out number 3. But Waykazer started this back as a freshman and has worn it, so maybe they're honoring their senior. So after 11.5 innings, we'll go to the bottom of the 12th right after this as you see the appreciative fans here at Mineral Springs Park. As you look at Dawn Glasscock, the young lady who has now going into her 12th inning of pitching after this is her 3rd game, you see some people warming up in the outfield. Perhaps another pitcher, or perhaps some infielders, because Barb Burke has done a great job of getting a whole lot of people into this game. Matt Svidgal with the 3rd to 1st out. And that will bring up Tammy Spezio. Now, Tammy Spezio has done a lot of this. She's been on her last 2 times at bat. She, of course, hit the rope that hit her coach in the hand, Gigi McIntosh, who's fine. And I tell you, if she could pick a time to get on, this would be it. Strike 1 down the pipe.
Glasscock had a little smile on her face after that pitch. I wonder if that's where she really wanted it to go.
I love her attitude. No matter what happens, just smiles. What about concentration by fielders at this point when not a lot has happened action-wise?
That's what we were talking about in the mental game. It is so important for these kids to stay focused because the ball can come to them at any time. That's the way you have to be thinking in the field.
1 lapse could cost a state championship. 1-2 as Glasscock still pitching wonderfully. Both she and Kristen Smith have been awesome out on the mound for their respective teams. High and tight, moving Spezio away. 2-2, evens it up, 1 out. We're in the bottom half of the 12th inning Class AA championship game. Ann Penston along with Danny Tyler bringing you this exciting softball here from Pekin. Off the end of the bat, unassisted. Oh! Georgianis takes it by herself, the outstanding athlete. In fact, she's been the female athlete of the year up in her area.
You hear about her a lot in the Chicago area, and just an all-around great kid. I've had a lot of times to go out and talk with her and watch her play, and I'm very impressed with her attitude, something that's very important in this game.
Good sense of humor, and I don't think you can be around Barb Bork and Lockport for very long without just coming away having a good time. She is high on life. It is just a wonderful thing to see, and she tries to give that to her players, as does Gigi. The smiles on the coach is always positive, always focused, always in control.
Ginny Georgianis, her sister-in-law, who we talked about earlier, Amber Podlesny, she played at DePaul, and she's now helping out with Lockport. She's one of the assistant coaches.
This is one of those things, what goes around comes around is a good thing. And Angie Simmons, the shortstop, up to bat. Angie laces one foul. Tell you what, you wouldn't want to fall asleep over there because all kinds of things have been finding their way to that part of the field. As you look at Renando, the outstanding catcher for Lockport, he's called a great ball game.
There's a very good connection between Ronaldo and Glasscock, and that's what you need in your battery.
Fouled out of play. Bonked us there. We were ready though. There's our truck who's done all the work, and I tell you what, it's a long night when the crews have to work extra innings for everybody, but it's what we're here for and it's what we love to do. So we're really glad to bring this game to you. High goes the pitch, and 1-2. So she wasted one high, and Simmons wasn't biting.
That's okay to do now that you don't have any runners on base. You can try a few things, because if it goes by the catcher, you don't have to worry about any runners advancing.
You can try that pitch you may not be so good at, too, really, as long as you don't hit anybody with it, because you don't want any runners. Right down to Casey. Tell you what, you talked about her solid play, and it has continued right through 12 solid innings of play, as you see first base coach talking to her players, and I tell you what, we finished 12, and we're going to the 13th inning on Friday the 13th. Come on back. Gotta be fun. There are the Lockport Porters and pitcher Dawn Glasscock. What's up? What's up? As she is ready, she doesn't bat. And she gets some advice from Lindemann telling her exactly where it's at. And batting right now for the Porters is Renee Wilkinson, who is come into DH. She came in the 10th and she's staying. She gets another crack at it. You have a little equipment problem as Brooke Monroe checks her shin guards.
You know, those catchers have a pretty tough position back there. They've got these pitchers throwing 55 to 60 miles an hour. You got batters swinging foul tips right back at you. You got to have a tough player behind the plate.
And don't blink, something might happen. We're in the 13th inning. Is it fortuitous? Does it portend weird things? Whoa, that ball went lacing off and just missed our camera 2 position, but as the pro he is, he stood right in there. I don't know. A lot of people think that 13 is an unlucky number, but Danny, you've talked about Lockport's love of the number. And Morton wears a 13 too, also. And so I don't think there's any problem on these two teams as to what they wear.
Yeah, Ginny Georgianis, number 13, said she picked the number when she saw that the state championship game was going to be on the 13th.
You mean she changed numbers this season or what she'd had?
I'm not sure, but she said she peeked at that date, noticed it was 13th, kept the number. She's obviously got her sister-in-laws who both had number 13. They both brought their teams down here, pitched in the state championships, never got a state title.
Well, that ball hit out to Stahura, who squeezes it for the out. So Wilkinson is retired. You know, before the season even started, all the seniors for Lockport went out to Barb Burke's house and TP'd over 20 trees she has in her yard without her even waking up. They'd exhaust her so much from practice that she didn't even hear them doing it.
It's nice to have a goal, isn't it, from the beginning and to follow it all the way through. And these girls have done it.
And the decoration said #1 team, #1 coach, and they're trying to do it tonight. But tell you what, Morton has the same goal. As you look at Tracy Beneventi, who re-entered, after a pinch hitter had come in for her. That ball outside by Smith. 2 outstanding ball teams. Who will make something happen, and will it be on the 13th? That ball hit a shot. So Beneventi, after returning the lineup, lices one just out of the reach of second base. So we have a runner with 1 out.
You called it there, Ann. And we get a chance to see it again. It's a great shot up the middle. Just right into center field. She went very well with that ball. Stayed in it, kept her head in. Didn't pull out of it. You see a lot of batters now trying to swing so hard that their left shoulder comes out of it. And she stayed down with that ball.
And that's going to bring off leadoff hitter Katie Blackmore, who has been very difficult to keep off the base pass. She's been on 3 times. She's scored once. And she's stolen a base, so a very productive leadoff spot as Coach Barb Burke talks to her.
Katie Blackmore makes things happen. She's shown it today. She's shown it throughout the tournament. So it's nice to have that leadoff batter up there right now. Gigi McIntosh discussing some stuff with the umpires. Kind of wondering what's going on. Always has a smile on her face, doesn't she, Ann?
Yeah, just like I just thought I'd check, just to make sure. Very, very positive. That's one of the most wonderful things that you see of both these coaches. Very, very positive. That means kids are teenagers. They make mistakes, and what this is about is learning. This is education. This is the other half of education. We're seeing it on the field, and it takes place off the field and how to act as a person as well as how to be a ball player.
That's a great thing about this sport. You make some great friendships on the field, and you carry it off the field, too. It's nice. You have your best friends on the field. You learn to trust in yourself, and you learn to trust in other people during this sport, and it carries off the field. Gotta love this game.
I would suspect that your Olympic teammates, you have not gone without talking with them since the time that you've been in Atlanta.
Oh, they are my 15 best friends. My phone bill is always over $300 a month.
Oh, a swinging bunt and mishandled by Kristen Smith. It just was one of those things that just dribbled off, and we've said all along that a little thing could make a ball game.
You see that again. That's tough for Kristen Smith because it looked like the ball was going to come off harder than it did. Kind of flinched for a second, then went after it, just slipped out of her glove.
So with 1 out, runners on first and second, there you see the swinging bunt. Don't know if she meant that or just held up and punched it, but either way, it's gotten her down to first base, and there's that doggone Katie Blackmore. If you're Morton, thinking, how do you keep her off those base passes?
Fans, please return all foul balls to the playing area.
And Gina Calderon, as you look at Tracy Beneventi, the go-ahead run down at second. Barb Burke talking to Gigi McIntosh. You know, that's not something you always see in athletics, to see 2 coaches joking in the middle of a tense moment like that. Talk about perspective.
Most definitely, that's because they're both very classy.
Gina Calderon will be the batter. Barb Burke is talking to her. We may have a pinch hitter here. Or we're not real sure, but we'll check it out for you. Gigi McIntosh on the mound discussing strategy. I know that very aggressive is Barb Burke. Beneventi has good speed, left fielder. Good speed in the person of Katie Blackmore, so they could do a double steal. They could bunt. A lot will depend on what the defense looks like they're going to do.
Barb Burke did that in the semifinal game. She did a double steal to get someone on third base. They might do it now, but it's tough. It'd be nice to have that runner on first, and all you need is a little bloop, maybe just a grounder in the infield that's deep. Anything to score that runner.
Calderon shot a shot just left of the second baseman in the 9th inning, and that area is very wide open right now as the infield is pulled in. That called strike, 1 out, 0-1 the count, 2 runners on. Top of the 13th inning. High fly ball. They'll be tagging and trying to advance. Caught out there by Neely and advancing. Oh! Oh! I tell you what, that would have been crucial in that situation. What aggressive base running. Fly ball caught. Runner at second goes to third successfully after the tag, but trying to hustle down to second on the throw in. Let's take a look.
She was trying to sneak up behind her at second base after that hit. It was a nice hit right to deep center field, enough to move the runners over. and the Lockport runner tried to sneak behind her. It was a very close play, but she got her in time.
Good call. It looked early like she might have beaten her, but she never quite got to the bag, and there was the glove between her and the bag. So I'll tell you what, after 12 and a half, we go to the bottom of the 13th with Morton coming to bat. This is Joy Ganaway wearing number 13 and batting in the bottom of the 13th for Morton. Will this be the inning that someone takes the state championship? Glasscock low coming in on ball 1. Joy is the designated hitter. You see her stats for the night. Everybody's gotten plenty of at-bats tonight, Danny.
They sure have. It's been a real fun game.
We appreciate all the people that have helped in the support crew. Bruce Mitchell's been working on the stats for us, and there's been a lot of that tonight. 2-0. So Glasscock goes behind the designated hitter batting in the number 8 spot. Just outside, 3-0. Glasscock wanted that one.
It's been 13 innings. I hope it's not getting too long for her.
Well, when you're a pitcher at that point, you just give me a little bit extra here. I'm running on empty. Just a little low, so on 4 straight pitches, which has not happened tonight, we have a base runner for the Potters in the person of Joy Ganaway. Nobody out, leadoff walk. Coming to bat is Jenny Neely, but Gigi McIntosh is down, possibly making a lineup change. We'll see what happens. It looks like we're going to have a pinch runner. Nope, she comes, she goes. She's going to talk to the coach first. There's a Georgianis, tough first baseman, leading hitter for Lockport. And she's going to come in and pitch. Whoa, just, oh, there's a look at a young lady who has been phenomenal. The senior Dawn Glasscock. What a young woman she has been.
You know what? She doesn't have anything to be upset about. She has done some incredible pitching this game. She brought him here. She's really been the step-up player. Sure, it's tough to be taken out in this situation, but inside you've got to be proud because you stepped up and you are a hero.
There is no doubt about her role, that she has stepped up and the team has risen around her. And right now, another, just from probably sheer fatigue, Georgianis is going to come in and pitch. So the first baseman moves to the pitcher's mound. And she is number 13. So, 13 and runner on first is 13. Moving to first base for the Porters is number 20. That is Renee Wilkinson. Renee is also a senior. So everybody getting a chance here to play a vital role in different roles. As you see, Dawn Glasscock being consoled. Nothing to be consoled about, but she wanted to finish it out. And I think those 4 straight balls might have indicated that fatigue got the best of her.
She put her heart and soul into this game. She left everything on the field, and that's all you could ever ask for in a pitcher.
She's been outstanding. As you look at Dawn, I'm Ann Penso along with Danny Meyer, just enjoying this incredible ball game. And 13 seems to be the number of choice right now in the 13th inning, the bottom, with the runner number 13 on first and pitcher number 13 on the mound. And that is the batter, Jenny Neely, the left-handed right fielder for the Potters.
Your attention please, several changes now pitching for Lockport.
One thing about this Lockport team, we saw them earlier in the game. They were very loose. They were ready for this game. You look now, they still look loose. Jenny Georgianis, she was talking about how excited she was to be here. I said, are you nervous about anything? She goes, no, it's weird. I'm really not. I'm just happy to be here.
Well, right now is one of the most serious threats that we've seen in this ball game. We've got a new pitcher who's been playing first. She's certainly warm, but not pitching, and we've got no outs, runner on first, and if you can bet there's going to be some action to move her down. Great pitch by Georgianis right out of the box, low and away. Tough to bunt.
Sure is, and the one thing that is so good about having Georgianis there on the pitching mound, she has such a strong arm. If this bunt is hard, Georgianis can just pick up and turn it down to 2.
That ball lays down, Lindemann has it. Sacrifice is good, but there is out number 1, so third base covered by left fielder Tracy Beneventi on the hustle-in play.
That play was executed perfectly by Morton. That's exactly where you want the bunt to be. You moved your runner over to second. We've got one out, and we've got a runner in scoring position.
Jenny Neely put down a perfect bunt, did exactly what she's supposed to do, and the championship run is out on second base in the person of Joy Ganaway. And up to bat, Brooke Monroe. Brooke has 1 RBI in this ball game already. This one would be the biggest one of her young life.
She chased her eyes ball there by Jenny. Jenny does throw some heat. So now you've got a different pitcher. You've got to adjust to her. Can't be overly aggressive.
Gigi talking to her as you see Georgiana. She's loose. Talking to Renando. So the senior battery, a different senior battery. You know, in Dawn Glasscock, they said, how do you spell relief all year long? D-A-W-N. Well, now she's getting some relief of her own, and much deserved. She did an outstanding job, and Georgiana's going to come in and say, hey, I'm just going to help you here a little bit. We do this together. Whatever we do it as teammates. So Monroe, who has an RBI in this game, up to bat, inside. Count evens at 1-1. So 1's across the board. 1 out, bottom of the 13th. Monroe looks down to McIntosh for the signal. Infield not particularly in because they have such strong arms. Fouled away. So Georgianis goes ahead.
She is throwing the ball really hard. You can tell the batters are a little bit behind. They've really got to adjust to it and go after the pitch a little quicker. Kind of make those hands got to be a little quicker. That's what I've seen a little bit.
So far, she seems to have a ball that turns inside and comes right in, comes inside on the batters and low. Not a rise ball pitcher predominantly from the look so far. Fouled away. Sometimes a change just to see a different motion is worth it.
Yeah, if Jenny did it here, I'm sure she'd catch him off guard. But I'm not sure if she's really got a good changeup or not. I haven't seen her pitch enough.
Well, there you saw it. She smiled. Whoops. And there's a good catching of Renando. I tell you what, a catcher, when they call that pitch, you got to know it's coming, or you're going to be, your hand is going to be caught in the bat.
It's also important for the third baseman to know, because sometimes those batters will sit back and pull it, and it'll go right at them. So usually, when the catcher's giving the signal for a changeup, someone usually gives it to the third baseman to warn him, hey, it might be coming right at you in a hurry.
Tell you what, she's throwing some heat out there.
She sure is.
Lockport's depth has been one of their keys all year. That ball popped up. Casey squeezes it for out number 2. So big out. Georgianis comes in, gets 2 outs, and now the key one, of course, is going to be, oh, how about a matchup here? Kristen Smith, who laced one her last time up to bat, and now has a chance to win the ball game at bat.
There to help her cause. She's pitched a great game. It'd be very fitting for her to come up with a game-winning hit here.
Look at the concentration. Everybody. 2 outs, runner on second. And Kristen Smith at bat facing Georgianis, who she's not seen, and boy, Georgianis comes straight down the pipe and challenges her. A clean hit would be a game-winning RBI. Fouled off.
Yeah, they're just a little bit behind Jenny right now.
Tell you what, it's just amazing to me. You know, so many teams have only one really strong pitcher. Here's Lockport, who loses their freshman star, comes back with Dawn Glasscock, and now shows Georgianis. Talk about depth.
That's been the talk all year. If you get it one, someone's going to be right there to back her up. And that's how this Lockport team is. Barb was talking about it earlier. Always there helping each other out. It's obvious there in the pitching staff.
Fouled off. And Morton, who's come back all year long, Gigi McIntosh talked about, we've had targets on our back, we've had all kinds of pressure, some created outside of us, some within ourselves, having been here 4 straight years. And here they are with a chance. Oh, what an awesome team Morton has been as well. That ball, fly ball, out to center. Squeezed by Amy Somerville, has lots of good plays, none bigger than that one to make sure of the easier one. And after 13 innings, it didn't happen on the 13th. Let's go to 14. Oh, there's a look from the center field camera of what you see as a pitcher. And right now what she's looking at is Jenny Lindemann. We've been talking about her, or I have been, about that she is due. I can't help but believe that she is going to lace one of these times, and this is her 6th at bat.
She's had a hot glove in the field as well. She's made some great plays today. She, in the semifinal, has some very key hits, some very key RBIs.
Batting number 3, and we are now finishing our actual second complete ball game here. So it's like playing a doubleheader. 14th inning, Kristen Smith still on the mound for Morton. And Jenny Lindemann, the junior third baseman, the only non-senior in the infield for the Porters, up to bat.
It was fun to see Barb Burke between innings. She's standing up, trying to get the Porter fans into the game. Worked last game.
A high, towering fly ball, but Jenny Nealing has it for the out and retires the ever-dangerous Lindemann. That brings up what used to be the first baseman and now the pitcher, Ginny Georgianis.
This kid has so much power. You always got to be prepared for this kid to hit one over the fence. I tell you, she's got very quick hands and an excellent swing.
Ball one outside. Kristen Smith not going to give her a whole lot to look at. Certainly nothing over the fat meat of the plate. And she can rip it. That baseball in the gap. Yep. But Stahura, who has been stellar, no problem.
Stahura, we can call her Hoover tonight. She's got every ball. Anyone that's deep, anyone that's in. She's been fun to watch.
Most impressive thing is how well she breaks off the bat. She really makes tough plays look so easy because she's there so quickly.
That's really pure athleticism, I think. She can catch it off the bat and really react to it quickly.
Shortstop Peggy Casey, batting in the 5th position with 2 outs. And everybody coming underneath the ball in this inning, and Tammy Spezio. So down 1, 2, 3 go the Porters in this top half of the 14th. It'll be the Potters coming to bat right after this.
Still tied at 2.
Field, you see the posters out. The rainbow is created by the beautiful lights out here. Will there be a pot of gold at the end of it for Morton? Let's see. We're in the bottom half of the 14th. And they are coming to bat. And first chance, the young lady we just talked about in the outfield who makes it look so easy. Now at the bat, Amber Stahura. Amber again in her 6th at bat tonight. She's doubled and scored. Scored in the 9th.
It's very rare you see 1 for 5 in one game.
And Georgiana smiles. 1-1 evens the count. Stahura has hit a couple of balls very hard. She's flied out. She's done just about everything in her trips to the plate. And everybody's seeming to get under the ball about right now. Is there a fatigue issue with that or a change in pitching?
It very well could be fatigue, but these pitchers, they know what they're doing. Jenny Georgianis has a very good rise ball, which could really cause these batters to get under the ball a little bit.
And that's going to bring up senior Angie Waykazer for the Morton Potters. She had a huge RBI, and now it goes down to shortstop Casey, who gobbles it up. And oh, she is so sound.
Got to have a lot of confidence as a pitcher when you have a shortstop like that who can get balls anywhere between third base and second base and come up with a strong arm. She's had a phenomenal championship series.
Of course, she's throwing over to first to Renee Wilkinson now that Georgianis has moved to the mound. And brings up Amanda Smidgall, the first baseman for Morton. Strike. So So Georgianis has worked primarily ahead of the batter, so doing a great job coming in with little or no warm-up. We're all tied up 2-all. Bottom half of the 14th inning. Ann Penstone and Danny Tyler bringing this championship AA game to you tonight on a beautiful night here in Pekin, Illinois. Home of all of the championships. 23 years they've played here. And it's become a tradition. Take the trip to the heart of Illinois and to Pekin to play ball. Fouled, out of play.
I remember when I was in high school, we had shirts that said Road to Pekin. And it's neat to come back here now that I'm all done and see new faces. It's always fun to come out to Pekin. Great community. And they always are so friendly in this area. The grounds crew does a great job. It's always organized very well. They should be proud of what they put on here.
Well, they've hosted several national tournaments of all age groups. So the community has supported it well as down goes Schmidl to second baseman Calderon and over to Wilkinson for out number 3. So after 14 complete innings, we're still all tied. We'll be back with the Porters in the top of the 15th. Well, as you look at the lights and all the local bugs showing there at this late night as they've come out in the tie score, I'll tell you what, we have easily broken the state record for greatest number of innings, longest title game. It used to be 11 innings, Belleville West versus Thornwood out of South Holland back in 1986, 11 years ago, but it is definitely shared now by the Porters and the Potters. Here with 15 long innings. The longest game in tournament history was 19 innings. It was last year. I saw that game in quarterfinal between Herscher and Lebanon, won 1-0, and both pitchers went the distance. In fact, the Lebanon pitcher had 30 strikeouts and still lost. Whoa, the Porters on that play, hustling down number 10. Amy Somerville, let's take a look at how she got on.
Almost did a slap here, faked the bunt down, and just a very hard bunt. And the first baseman kind of forced this throw. It was a tough throw over there to the second baseman. She made it safely. Great speed in Amy Somerville. Forced him to hurry the ball a little bit. And she kind of hurried that ball a little too much, and it went too low for the second baseman to handle.
So Lockport now on with Somerville as a leadoff runner as Gigi talks to her Morton Potters about strategy. Bunts, steals, got speed. Somerville's a center fielder. We watched her race around the outfield, so we know she can motor on the base pass. But boy, everything's so valuable right now. You don't want to waste it either.
Yeah, you really got to expect Barb Burke here again to bunt the runner over. But I know that Gigi's probably saying, be aggressive. If that bunt is hard, try to get her at 2.
And at bat,
that's a cute little youngster, isn't it?
Well, everybody may be tired, but this one's wide awake saying, yep, more. And there is Kristen Smith, who has pitched all 15 of these innings, and she's facing the catcher, Vicky Renando. Squares to bunt. Bunt's foul, out of the reach of catcher Brooke Monroe's glove. Popped it up, but got away with it. There's Brooke. Outstanding catcher. Brooke is the name of the last 2 catchers for Morton, actually. That ball out of, and gets by. Now we're going to have a throw down to second. Ball hits the runner, which is perfectly legal. And picked up out there by Amy Schlappe. That was a free advance.
That was pretty aggressive. Base running by Amy Somerville. We'll get a chance to see it again here. If that throw would have been on target, Amy could have been in trouble. Unfortunately, it was right at her. Hit her in the leg and kicked it over by the shortstop area.
It hit her before it could get to the glove of shortstop Angie Simmons. So Vicky Renando now has a chance for an RBI. Still squares to bunt, goes down to third. Beautiful bunt. Oh, just foul. I tell you what, everybody almost grabbed that ball. Renando slaps the dirt like, ah, can't believe that one foul.
Brooke Monroe made a great decision there. That was a tough bunt. It was just going foul, just made it by a few inches. Great play by Brooke Monroe.
So 2 strikes on her, so now that play is a little tougher. Will Barb Burke risk it with her catcher? She's got a senior. Any way she gets somebody down to third, then a long fly ball. All kinds of things, pass ball, anything. Much easier from third than second. Nope, looking either for it. Not looking to bunt at that point.
She's been hitting so well, so you know that's in Barb Burke's mind.
If she can keep it on the ground and move her, hit behind her, which she does. Oh, and then she bonuses and gets a hit. Here comes the run. The throw down here by Neely. Cut off and down to second and dead to rights. Sally Walker punches out Fernando on the aggressive base running, but not before the go-ahead run as she points, yes, I got you in.
Look at that smile on her face. She had the go-ahead RBI in the semifinal to get them to the championship game. This could be the deciding factor. We can take a look at it again. Bonado coming through today. Pitch right up the middle. And there she goes, takes it right there. And the runner's gonna score easily. The ball was cut off by the pitcher.
Cut off by the pitcher, thrown to second. Aggressive base running, Renando is out. So there's 1 out, and that brings up Renee Wilkinson, who came in to pinch hit and then moved to first when Jorganis moved to pitch. Shot foul. Would have been an easy play for Schmidl. But Wilkerson would get another chance. No base runners, it's clean out there. She'd like to start a second rally because 1 run obviously has not been enough at any time for either of these teams.
We've only got 1 out here, so there's a lot of room to get a lot more runs.
Wilkerson, whoa, a shot right towards the Lockport dugout. Everybody staying alive over there.
She's a little bit behind this ball. Goes right towards our cameraman. I hope he's okay.
You want to know what it looks like when it comes at you? That's a great view. Ball outside. 1 and 2 goes the count. 1 out. Top half of the 15th inning. Lockport batting. Kristen Smith has been on the mound for all of these state record innings. Most innings in a championship game, and that shot goes up the middle. So Wilkerson comes in and does her duty. So another base runner for the Porters, and that will bring up Tracy Beneventi. Tracy had a hit her last time up to bat as you look at Wilkerson.
You really got to be wondering here if Kristen Smith is getting a little tired. The ball was right over the plate. She took it well up the middle. I mean, it's 15 innings. It'd be understandable to be a little tired, don't you think, Ann?
I tell you what, I don't even know about counting the pitches. You know, you're talking baseball, about 100 pitches, you figure you're taking them out, but I'm sure she's well past that. Although in defense of softball, physically, anatomically, it's a much safer and easier motion. It does not do the damage to the arm that overhand pitching does do.
Sure, because underhand is your natural motion. That's how you walk. That's how you go to shake someone's hand. Overhand is completely different.
But go try to pitch and release at the right point and see how easy it is. Beneventi wanting to move around an insurance run. 1 out, that ball goes outside. Wilkerson aggressive on the base pass, but being held there by first baseman Amanda Schmidl. Again, you can't steal unless it leaves the pitcher till it leaves the pitcher's hand. Down to shortstop Simmons, who tosses to the second baseman and tries for the second double play, but that's our first chance at a double play tonight. Tough to do when you've got good speed.
There really haven't been too many Lockport runners on base. That's why they really haven't had the chance to turn the double play.
So out on the fielder's choice, Amy Wilkerson, or Renee Wilkerson's retired as Gigi McIntosh gives a signal. So with 2 outs, it brings up Katie Blackmore, who we're glad to see is okay. She was hit by a pitch, not by a pitch, by an overthrow during warm-up.
Yeah, she was sitting down by the dugout. She must have got hit pretty hard, but she's a trooper. She's back. She's tough.
Takes a called strike.
This is a dangerous sport. You know, people say softball.
No, it's not soft. Definitely not soft. And that shot down the right field line, gobbled up by Stahura, who does her patented attempt at throwing out the runner. But this time, this leadoff hitter, Katie Blackmore, is safe.
Maybe she needed that little hit. Maybe that was the plan.
I'll tell you what, as fast as Katie Blackmore is, Stahura made it close.
Katie Blackmore has been playing very well all game. She takes this ball to right field and really has to hustle because there's a great arm there in right field and just makes it.
And that brings up Gina Calderon, the second baseman, who takes a called strike. 2 outs. Lockport has scored the go-ahead one. They lead 3-2 in the top half of the 15th. Class AA championship game. And into the possible gap, but going over for it, Schlappe, who squeezes for out number 2. And we have had 1 run scored. Will it be enough, or will Morton come back? Don't go away. We'll be right back to find out. Number 13 on the man, Gina Georgianis, pitching in relief of Dawn Glasscock, who's done a wonderful job, and she needs 3 outs for the Porters to be state champs. Oh, a big swing by Tammy Spiuzio, who is an outstanding hitter, the second baseman, who has sent some ropes tonight. Every time Lockport's gone ahead, Morton has answered the call.
Gina Georgianis, she is throwing heat. That's what you want in a reliever.
Fouled back. She is pumped, jumping up and down.
It'd be very fitting for her to come out here with the state championship. We talked earlier about her sister-in-laws, Amber and Lee, who both brought Lockport to the championship, could never really bring home that state title. It'd be nice to bring it home for the family now.
Well, we know one thing for sure. One team who's been second for the 3rd time, one of them will go home finally with the gold. And it's one of those games where you will never forget, set a state record in innings played in a title game. And no matter what happens, that young lady, Dawn Glasscock, has been part of a championship effort. And her reliever, Georgianis on the mound. That ball hit out to left center, or right center, and drops in for a hit. So now after coming up with a leadoff runner for Lockport, so does Morton, in the person of Tammy Spiuzio on a hard hit single to right center.
Never say die is in Morton's heart. Whenever they're down, they always seem to come back.
And that's going to bring up Angie Simmons, the shortstop, who's played such fine defense here for the Potters. And again, it's move somebody around into scoring position is uppermost in her mind. Oh, stab by Georgianis on a great play. That may prove to be one of the most crucial plays of the ball game. A fresh infielder who is used to having things come at her in a hurry down there at first base. Great glove play.
That's why, like we were talking earlier about versatility, that's why it's nice to have a pitcher who can also play the infield and cover from base to base and be aggressive. Ginny is that player. She's the athlete of the year for the area around Lockport.
And that brings up Joy Ganaway, the designated hitter. This Amy Schlappe. Amy has gone in to hit. The left fielder has come in to hit for the Potters. So some lineup changes for Gigi McIntosh as she tries to liven up the pot here. She's substituting for DH Joy Ganaway. It's her 2nd time. So Schlappe gets a chance in this game to move the runner down to 2nd in the person of Angie Simmons. And set the table perhaps for Jenny Neely, looking to bunt. Popped up, squeezed by Lindemann for out number 2. So a tough play for Schlappe on the hustle by Lindemann for out number 2, and the Porters are 1 out away.
That was the rise we were talking about. Jenny throws it so well and she throws it so hard that there's nothing else you could do really but just pop it right up.
Jenny Neely, the center fielder who's played an outstanding ball game. Batting left-handed. And I'll tell you what, there is renewed energy out there on the field. Everybody is hustling after every pitch to cover where they're supposed to be to make sure nothing goes for anything extra.
Looking out at these Lockport kids, they're trying to hold the smiles in. Guys, you got one more out. You can't look past this Morton team.
Tries to slap, strike, and oh, everybody is moving. It is unbelievable the energy that has just picked up as a result of what may be. Look at the smile on Glasgow. If this happens for her, the reliever will be very relieved. Georgianis on the mound. Neely at bat. Foul. 0-2, 2 strikes. She's got to protect everything.
It's hard to hold that energy back. You see the smiles in the Lockport kids. They're 1 out away from a state championship.
25 years of coaching by Barb Burke. Will it be the culmination here tonight? Foul back. Tell you what, she is battling everything out there. You see Georgianis. Neely just as tough.
Neely's a fighter. She's not going to give up here. She's getting everything close to the plate. That's what she has to do with 2 strikes.
The cardiac kids, do they have one more beat left in that heart? Calls time. Waited a little long, said I'm not going to step out and make you play my game. Number 13 on the back of Georgianis on Friday the 13th. After knocking on the door, have finally opened the gate for their own state championships.
What a great way to end that game with a diving, spectacular play by the third baseman. It's been a defensive game. There's always been excitement. Look at the kids out there, but then you look at Morton. Tough loss for them.
The kind of game where you hate to see anyone, no one lost. We just had a team win a ball game.
Let's take a look at that last out again. Jenny Lindemann just lays out for this ball. It's a tough play. She saved this game. That could have made it through. Look at that play. Fantastic.
Folks, you have just seen what this ball game has been all about. As you see Georgianis go up, outstanding plays by 2 phenomenal ball games for a state record 15 innings. The champs, the Lockport Porters.
Morton couldn't come away with it again. This was their 4th trip down here. They got 2nd place last year. They got 2nd place this year. But they're a young team. We'll look for them in the future.
As you see, a happy group of maroon-clad Lockport Porters circling the field. We'll be back with more. And there's your final score. In a state record 15 innings, the Porters of Lockport defeat the Potters of Morton 3-2. The winning pitcher in relief, Ginny Georgianis. And a tough Kristen Smith in a heartbreaker. An outstanding ball game. And the Pepsi play of the game. Who else but an RBI by Vicky Renando, bringing in Amy Somerville in the 15th inning. Vicky had the RBI in the semifinal win, and she gets it again. The senior catcher does it for the Pepsi play of the game. And there is classy coach Gigi McIntosh receiving the runner-up trophy, the smile indicating the class that she and her team have displayed all year long. And in a tough heartbreaker, her only senior, Angie Wakehazer. And Barb Burke, Tears of Joy by Dawn Glasscock when she was relieved in the 13th. They're replaced by Tears of Joy now, and she was relieved by Georgianis. And there is Ginny Georgianis receiving her state championship medal by Coach Barb Burke. 25 years has culminated in a state championship. The Porters win it all.
How appropriate for Barb Burke, all the years of dedication bringing home that first state title.
There you have it. At this time, Sports Channel would like to thank H. David Fry, Mary Struckoff, and all those at the Illinois High School Association for making this championship event possible. We'd also like to thank Barb Waddell and Ken Ayers from Pekin High School for their cooperation in the coordination of this event. This game was produced and directed by Jim Corner Jr. Graphics coordinator was Bruce Mitchell. Remote facilities were provided by Trio Video. Coordinating producer David Turner. And our VP of programming at Sports Channel is Rex Lardner. Once again, the final score was 3-2 in 15 innings. Lockport are your champs. For Danny Tyler, this is Ann Penstone saying so long from Pekin. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.